What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Rebels with a Cause. You know what time it is, baby. It is Wednesday night, 9:30, and you know it is time for that cause, because that cause don't stop when the clock hits zero. Gonna have a great show tonight for you. I mean, guys, we are less than 24 hours from college football officially kicking off. We had some nice appetizer games last week. Iowa State getting a leg up on the competition, getting a lead in the Big 12, winning that awesome game against Kansas State in Dublin. Also, Hawaii, of all teams, who was left for dead a couple years ago, finds a way to win against Stanford. And how far Stanford has fallen from when we used to talk about them being a national championship contender with the likes of Andrew Luck. But they have really fallen, and they're in the ACC, and not a good look for the ACC to lose to Hawaii on a last-second kick, no less. But that was, some of the games on Saturday. But now we've got a full slate of college football Thursday through Monday, featuring some sexy top 25 matchups that I hope everybody's going to tune in for. We're going to pick those games tonight. Also talk about some of the other games, that are going to be with the big name schools. We're going to tell you who we think are the contenders, who the pretenders are. We know they're the names that are mentioned every year, but you stay away from them. If anything, you bet the under with how many predictions that Vegas says that they will get. We'll talk about them. We're going to talk some Heisman hopefuls. We'll even give you who we think might be in the national championship game and our pick to win it all, plus pick these first 5 games. First and foremost, we do got to get some housekeeping out of the way. Going to talk a little high school football too. Sprinkle that in here because got to give some dap to my West High junior varsity. The varsity game got canceled because of lightning. Still mad about it, but junior varsity, congratulations, guys. I'd waited a year to smoke that cigar, and you got it done against Bearden, whether it's their JV, freshman, whatever they want to call themselves. 20-0 on the scoreboard. Nothing to hang your hats on. You got one on them. Keep it up next year when the varsity games actually played. So shout out to you guys, and getting ready for Maryville in both varsity and JV this Friday and Monday, respectively. That being said, the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of Knoxville West High School. These are our views, the RWAC Crew and Panels. And also, if we've mistakenly said something in error, please call us out on it, respectfully, obviously, on that chat box, but obviously tribute in that chat box. We want to hear what you want to say, because this show is just as much as our show as it is yours, because everybody's got a cause. Remember that. Got to give some love to some sponsors. My gal Kim Castle over there at the Chamber, King's Chamber, they're off Washington Pike. Let me tell you something, guys. I know that we have our wives, our girlfriends, they go and they get their nails done, they get their hair done, all that stuff. Who says you guys can't do that stuff? King's Chamber, they offer that. They got a VIP special that you can get the works done. Maybe you just go in there for a simple shave and haircut, but you get 2 tasty beverages, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, whichever you prefer. But you let Miss Kim know that Rebels with a Cause and the Italian Stallion sent you, and she'll get you a little discount there. In fact, I got to go see her tomorrow so I can get what little mane I have on top worked on, if you get my drift. Also, got to give a shout out to a fellow Class West alum of 2003, Mr. Alex Thatcher and his Knoxville Coffee Company. They're off of Sutherland Avenue. That brew is good any time of the day. They're in the heart of Marble City. Let him know Rebels with a Cause sent you. He'll fix you up. And with it being a little chilly now, with the fall coming, that coffee's going to be even better. Just let him know Rebels with a Cause sent you. Also, got to give some love to Josh Fink and Corey over at Razor Shop Barbershop. If you're not looking for the works but a simple haircut, definitely go see them, pay them a visit, let them know that 332 Studios, 2 Pair Tate, and your boy, the Italian Stallion and Rebels with a Cause sent you. See if they'll hook you up. And got to give some love to our guy, Big Fact Sports Network there. Follow them on 332 Studios, our sister channel. They're on YouTube broadcasting some really good stuff, football, music. The entertainment value is there. Go like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, real quick, before I bring on my panel, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone that tuned in for high school game day last Saturday. Myself and Big Game Kerry Reeves, we were live from Bill Wilson Field. It was a fantastic hour previewing a game that will never take place. However, it was still fun. We had a great time doing it, and I want to thank the 111 views that we got that beat last year. Thank you love, up to now 105 subscribers, and it's just going to keep growing, baby. So this cause started with a dream, and 25-year dream by doing a live show from West High School. So I'm really happy that everything came to fruition. Wish a game would have taken place, but we can't get it all. But again, thank you for all your love and support. And every show that you watch, hit that like button if you haven't subscribed already, and that really helps with the analytics. And over 10,000 views, and this is now episode 88, and it's just keep growing, baby. Don't stop when the clock hits 0. Let's bring on my panel, though. Let's get to talk some football. Let's see what you guys want to see. First and foremost, I got to bring him on because he's one of the OGs who helped me start this thing. He is our beloved stats guy. He is our coach, as named by our guy, Parker Dubon. Keep doing great things over at Auburn University, young man. But that being said, more than anything, give him a warm Rebel with a Cause welcome. Super Vol fan as well for life. The one, the only, Mr. Shane O'Mac, Shane McGee.
What's up, man? What's up?
Hey, buddy, looking good with that Vols hat and the jersey. You're ready for Saturday, and it's not even Wednesday night or Wednesday at midnight yet. So,
oh, no, there we go.
Oh, look at that. He's got the helmet. Look at this. Yeah, if you don't like the Vols, you can turn the channel. That's all I'm going to say right now. So, the hell with you. But anyway.
I appreciate all the prayers y'all been sending my way. Life sucks right now on my end. I know God will get me and my son through, but I need this tonight because with the way everything's going, Keegan hasn't been able to go to football or anything. So just I mean, you know the details of what I'm dealing with, but just want to say it just sucks right now. I'm trying not to break down, but I need this tonight because this is my safe place right now.
Hey, listen, this is what this is all about. This is like a men's therapy hour right here, honestly, to talk football, okay? So this is the best time of year right here. We've waited all year for this. It's like Christmas morning for us grown adult men here and so forth.
Yeah.
But brother, let me tell you this. I had a bad May myself, as you know. I left it in God's hands, and now I work for a phenomenal company with wonderful people. And, I think that great things are on the horizon for you. And you know that I pray hard every moment for you and Keegan. Honestly, love you, brother.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Just
keep us. Everybody's watching, listening. Whenever you see it, just keep us in your prayers. We can use it all right now. Just life has been kicking us one week after another, and a lot of things changed our past couple weeks, especially over the weekend. So we're just trying to make it day by day right now.
Yeah. Would have been nice to have that game. Would have been a nice distraction. I know I needed that JV game to even give me a distraction.
I was surprised to find out that was nothing but freshmen on Bearden.
I know that was something. That really was something. They did all right. They held their own, and it was nice to see Jace Heupel out there getting the some work in there with the JV and different work with that line as opposed to the varsity line that he's had in the scrimmage.
Yeah,
we'll say that much. But credit to the JV boys for getting it done against Bearden. That being said, I want to give a shout out Ian Walker, big Iowa State fan. His Cyclones got it done in Ireland, so hell yeah, go State, go Clones. So absolutely. Next on the panel, let me tell you something, man. He was there for me Saturday, and I know he was just as bummed that the game didn't happen, but he's a big Vol fan, our resident Bill Mafia guy. But most and foremost, that when he shows up, it's a big game going on here locally in Knoxville. He lover of sports. I'm proud to call him not only a great friend, but a brother. Big game, Kerry Reeves. Bring him on, baby. Let's go.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, Shane, I feel you, man. I'm praying with you and Keegan. I went through my health struggles for the past year. Almost a year ago, this is when all of them started, but I trusted in God and without God, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would be here today. So trust me, God does wonderful things. I'm keeping you in my thoughts and prayers, you and Keegan, every single day, brother.
I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, God's Keegan and we're keeping me here right now. So
there you go. And we're here, and I'm here to celebrate being a panelist and ready to talk some football, man, because that game Saturday just got the appetite just wet. Watching Iowa State and Kansas State play in the rain in Dublin got the appetite wet. Now I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, let me just tell you this. We were supposed to have this guy on a couple weeks ago. A couple things. Life happened for him. Couldn't come on, but he wanted another chance. I said to him, no, man, you always have a chance. You have a seat at the table. If you're a football fan and you bring the energy, you have a seat at the table here on the panel. And just want to introduce him properly because he deserves a proper Rebels with a Cause introduction. He's been known as Brad the Brain. He's been known as Hit Stick Holloway, the football nerd, 247 B-Rad, Sir Hits a Lot, and my personal favorite, the Tower of Power. And this show needed a giant because he is 6'6", and you can't teach that.
Wow.
A little Enzo Amore from back in the day.
You know it, man.
Let's bring him on. Welcome him on. Super fan of the Vols, a fantasy football champion. I have to go up against this cat in the league. I'm not really thinking that much. This guy's got like a Roman Reigns World Heavyweight Championship match. He should come into that music to the tribal chief of fantasy football. But let's bring him on. The one, the only, Papa Clutch Brad Holloway. What is up, baby?
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me today. I apprate it, guys. Thanks a lot. I've been waiting on this for a while.
Great to have you, man.
Look at all that great memorabilia in the background right there. You know, look, he's got his helmet. You got your helmet, Shane. You got his helmet. I mean, look at that.
Ready to go, man.
We're ready to
go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Well, let's get going because we got some viewers. Chat box, I want to hear from you. Loved hearing from Ian right away. Just want to point out just a couple of things real quick. Let's get to this college football thing right away. Going down on the tickers, not all the top 25 matchups. What it is the big game matchups this week, as well as all of the SEC teams who are going to be in action. Obviously, all eyes. We're going to have a personal interest, obviously, at noon in Atlanta, or should I say Vol-Lanta, when our Vols take on Syracuse. There's going to be so much orange. If you hate orange, this isn't the game for you to watch. However, a lot of eyes are going to be north of us in Columbus, Ohio, to watch the defending reigning national champion Buckeyes defend their title against the preseason #1 Texas Longhorn, and led by Arch Manning, who's obviously a Heisman hopeful. On the other side, Jeremiah Smith, probably one of the most exciting football players in college football. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we got a front row seat of how good he was last year, unfortunately. But the fact that these two games are on at the same time, I know, Brad, you're going to be at the game there in Atlanta. I want your thoughts. But first and foremost, I've got the luxury that I'm going to be watching both, and my job is to text Brad to let him know what's going on in that game. But at the same time, I've got two TVs, both eyes on there, drinks, food. I want to hear, guys, what are you looking forward to that first couple of games that Saturday? Shane, I'll start with you, then Kerry, then Brad. Let's just go, man. Let's go around the panel.
I'm really, even though they're playing at the same time, I'm really looking forward to the Texas-Ohio State game. And I want Texas to mop the floor with Ohio State. I can't stand Ohio State in any shape, form, or fashion. I can't stand their fans. Can't stand the team. Dated a girl years ago whose uncle was on the coaching staff. Hated them then too. So it's just pure hatred for that team. It's really the fans that get like. I know a bunch of Ohio State fans. They're some of my closest friends from the military. But when it came to football season, they're the worst fan base to deal with. I will deal with Florida, Georgia, and Alabama all day.
Wow, that's saying something.
Wow.
They're obnoxious.
Come in cocky. Like, they just assume that they are the greatest thing in college football ever.
Well,
like the Cowboys are fans in the NFL. They think they're the world's greatest fans, and I laugh at them too.
Well, to be fair with Ohio State, I mean, it took a flag in the desert against my school or what have you more than anything to give them that pub, because realistically they had some successful years, but realistically Michigan was running that show until Sweater Vest Tressel came in there, and then of course the people that came after Urban Meyer, and now you've got this Day guy that finally got it over the hump. They had to pay $30 million for their national championship. Chip Kelly's no longer there, but they're breaking in a new quarterback, couple new running backs, but they're loaded. But it all starts with Jeremiah Smith. On the other side, it's Arch's team. It's no longer sharing with Quinn Ewers or Monk or anybody else. He is the guy at quarterback for Texas. Kerry, what are you looking forward to in that game? Some polls it's 1 versus 2. It should be really. With all due respect, you should be the champion regardless of what you lost at number 1 until you are beaten. And Penn State, with their crap schedule, is number 2, and playing Nevada at 3:30 on CBS. Again, CBS, great job losing the SEC network to broadcast that instead.
Yeah.
ABC's got Tennessee, Bama, and LSU, and you sprinkle in some Clemson, Florida State, and Syracuse, 3 traditional programs. I mean, ABC's got the day made. They'll have all eyes.
Making money all day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It pays it back.
They got the weekend. They've got the weekend between Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Them and ESPN, they got the weekend.
They do.
But this Texas and Ohio State game, how many NFL scouts are you going to think are going to end up in Columbus? They said that last year's game in the playoff, there were 32 players from both teams that have made NFL rosters this year. If that is true, that is the most out of one game in the history of college football, that 32 draft picks and unrestricted non-drafted free agents made NFL rosters this year. That's how big talent-wise this game is. This game is going to be a superb game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Really? I think it's going to be a lower-scoring game than people think it's going to be. I think both defenses, especially Texas's defense, is unfreaking believable. And I think that will be the difference in this ballgame. Jeremiah Smith is going to get his yards. They're going to try to get him involved from the start and go. But I think Texas is more balanced. And I think it's going to be Texas in a closer than expected, but I think Texas gets the W in Columbus.
Brad, before I go to you, the one thing that I do want to state is that I'll tell you one thing. Steve Sarkisian has built an absolute monster. You talk about the coaches that are from that Nick Saban tree. Love him or hate him, Saban knew what he was doing. And when Sarkisian may have flopped at USC and so forth like that, much like Kiffin, he went and learned under Saban. And, he has made the most of this opportunity. And here he's got Texas. I feel Texas is way ahead of Oklahoma. I wouldn't have said that 15 years ago when Mac was there and Bob was there. Bob Stoops, obviously, But now, Texas looks like they belong not only in football, but in all the sports now that they've joined the SEC. Oklahoma, with the exception of softball, is lagging at this point, know? And so I'm just saying that Texas has center stage to really flex their muscle. And hell, in their first season, they technically, because of the injury to Carson Beck, did win the SEC championship, being a part of the SEC, even though they lost the head-to-head in the regular season. But in the record books, they are the defending SEC champions in preseason number 1. Brad, obviously we want to talk Tennessee, Syracuse, but what's your thoughts on this Texas-Ohio State game with so much big-name talent and the marquee names and coaches involved in this?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody's going to be watching it. Of course, the people that aren't watching our game are going to be watching it. I mean, that's the marquee game of the week that, ESPN, ABC, they've all been broadcasting. This is their marquee game that's opening our weekend. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to a lot. I agree with Kerry. I think it's going to be more defense than a lot of people think because, I mean, not only, did both teams lose a lot, not only did both teams lose a lot, but I mean, you just look at it like that. And this is the first game of the year. No matter how much you practice in the summer and in the spring and stuff, you're not ready for hitting people like you are when that first whistle blows and you actually start hitting people. So, I mean, I feel like both teams are going to kind of be off to a slow start, and I could definitely see a lower scoring ball game. But I do wonder, not to cut you off, but I do wonder if the Texas quarterback's last name wasn't Manning, would it be as big of a marquee game as it is right now?
That's a fair point. Shane, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, is the Manning name bringing this to? I mean, what if this was – all right, let me just give a name out there. What if it was Carson Beck that was, Texas's starting quarterback, he was a junior.
I think the way Texas played last year, it would still be a marquee matchup.
Okay.
We didn't see much of Manning last year. We saw, but it was still Ewers last year. A lot. So I still think it'd be it'd be a marquee matchup. Even you did have Carson. If you had Carson Beck there, I think it'd still be the same way. Because you got the notoriety of his name with what he did in Georgia.
Do you guys see a history repeating itself? 20 years ago, a lot of people don't remember, but the Texas-Ohio State game was that week 1 matchup, and Vince Young in Texas went into Columbus
Mhm.
and beat A.J. Hawk, and realistically went on their quest to finally defeat the men of Troy, Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, their two
Vince Young
Heisman
Bowl.
Trophy winners, in the Rose Bowl. And here we are 20 years later. No pressure on Arch, because Vince Young, whether he didn't do that great in the NFL, was a phenomenal talent in college football, one of the most exciting players, and
Those are the
single-handedly
greatest.
took down.
I'll also say that was still the greatest college football championship we've ever had.
Oh, without a doubt. No,
agreed.
without a doubt. I mean,
Agreed.
I would put that against anything, honestly.
I would too.
I was awake at 0:30 in the morning in Iraq
You
to
were.
watch that game.
I could stop watching that game. I still watch it when they replay it again. It's an unbelievable game. I know how it turns out, but it was still unbelievable.
Yeah.
And when they went into Columbus and beat them in 2005, that was 8 months after that tremendous the first Rose Bowl game with them in Texas and Michigan that Texas won at the gun. They beat both of the Big Ten's best in 8 months. That set their path. The only team that was left for them to deal with was the great USC, and they got them. That
Brad,
was
what
a
were you
year and
gonna
a
say,
half
bud?
worth of Texas. Vince Young.
I remember. I agree with Shane. I will add an addendum. I've always said that is the greatest national championship that didn't involve the University of Tennessee in it, because I think there was. I lived in a small apartment out in West Knoxville. I probably had 40 or 50 people watching that game, and in the fourth quarter, there was 50 people in there. You could hear a pin drop. We called it the Vince Young Bowl, and from 7 minutes left to go in the game, nobody moved. We just watched Vince Young take over that game and just make. Once you said, like you said, nothing in the pros, but he made his name that night in college football, no doubt about it.
He was unstoppable.
I mean, he was the Achilles to their Hector and Troy. I mean, it really was the fall of Troy. He was the Trojan horse Achilles that could not be stopped by anything.
I think him getting shafted out of the Heisman that year, because I think Reggie Bush was a phenomenal player, but I think Vince Young should have earned it that year.
Yep.
That was his, like, you all screwed up. I'm about to show y'all who I really am.
That was a revenge game. There was no doubt.
I'm going to tell you this. I think that 20 years later, if that was now, he'd win the Heisman. If the season he had now of how it's looked at, no doubt he wins.
Only quarterback in a championship game to have 250 yards running and passing.
Yep.
He was a one-man stopping force, and he had talent all around him. Cedric Benson was his running
White was
back.
right behind him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad when he became a Titan. I actually enjoyed his time.
Listen, guys, nobody jumped higher. Nobody jumped higher when we drafted Lendell White, who was the forgotten running back of that USC offense or what have you, and Vince Young. I thought we were getting Steve McNair and Eddie George Part 2. I was wrong, but damn, I was excited as anything.
I think had Steve McNair not had to get traded to or released to go to Baltimore, had actually been able to mentor Vince Young, his career would have been completely
different.
I agree.
Yeah, as I'm not a Titans fan. I've been a Niners fan all my life. Please don't hold it against me. I was born watching Jerry Rice, the greatest receiver of all time. Yeah. And so, it's kind of funny, but we've always said that, like the Titans, it was CJ2K in that show the whole time, but it was just so funny how it's so different how it could have been had it not all went down like that.
Yep.
True. Very true. Very big trajectory there. Some of the other matchups, obviously we can talk about Tennessee and Syracuse, but some of the other matchups, obviously Georgia's taken on Marshall, Alabama, Florida State. This game we've made fun of in the last few weeks, but I'm going to tell you this about it. What's so interesting about this game is the fact that it was made 10 years ago. They make these schedules so far in advance. And now with the SEC going to 9 games, there's going to be some things that obviously are going to be changing of why play a big game like this when you've got 9 studs that you're going to have to go up against every week. And if you survive that and a potential SEC championship game, you're going to be in the playoffs. You'll be battle tested, but you might be playing somebody that's as fresh as a daisy because they didn't have the schedule you did. That being said, your thoughts, though, on the fact that you look at this Florida State Alabama game, it was made when Jimbo and Nick were still there. You know, it was potentially, you know, the mentor against the pupil. And now Jimbo is still sitting pretty, collecting $83 million. Any job can tell me to go away for $83 million. I won't argue.
Oh, hell
that,
yeah.
by the way. But and Saban
Yeah.
is on game day, you know, and so now you've got Norvell at Florida State, who had 1 year until his quarterback got hurt. They had a terrible year last year. It's got Boston College's quarterback there, and now Alabama is trying to find a quarterback as well as a running back, because that guy's in the NFL right now in Jalen Milroe. And Alabama fans are ready to run Kalen DeBoer out of here as quickly as can be. So my question is, and it has been talked about. It has been talked about privately in this show, in circles. What if Alabama goes to Tallahassee and loses to Florida State? I'm not saying it'll happen, but I'm just saying, what if it does? You know, Florida State obviously needs that win, but Alabama, ooh, that's.
I think it's sorry to interrupt you. I think it's highly possible, because the Alabama killer is on the staff with Mike Norvell. The new offensive coordinator is Gus Malzahn, who has killed Alabama and has had 8 months to prepare for Alabama. With a week, he's dangerous. He's had 8 months. Florida State is not going to be the same Florida State we saw the last year and a half after Jordan Travis got hurt, and they just had a disaster of a year last year. Florida State is going to come out. That crowd is sold out. It's a renovated Doak Campbell Stadium. I think it's supposed to have like now 90 to 95,000 people in there. Ty Simpson, new quarterback for Alabama. This is going to be an interesting challenge.
Brad, what's your thoughts, real quick, on the on this new look Alabama? You know, traditionally they had the 5 stars. They were good on the trenches on both sides. They had a stable of running backs. Lately, they had even a stable of wide receivers that are making their name on Sundays. You know, even had a Heisman Trophy winner in Devonta Smith playing for the Super Bowl defending champ Eagles. Shout out to Michael Lynn. But you know, what are we expecting from Alabama? What's their identity under Kalen DeBoer?
Well, first of all, I mean, myself personally, I'm extremely biased, because when it comes to Alabama, I hate them, but I have to respect them. I mean, there's no doubt about them. You don't beat us as many times as you did and just get lucky. There's some mutual respect and mutual hate there. There's no doubt about it. But I think you guys both hit on it earlier. Florida State isn't the team it used to be, but neither is Alabama. I mean, I remember during the era of Mike's, you know, we could beat Alabama five out of 6 times, you know, twice on Saturday or whatever. But then that other guy took over and things kind of went completely different, if you will. But they're not the team they used to be. Ty Simpson, you know, he's from, I think, Martin, right outside of my hometown in Jackson in West Tennessee. So that was one of those guys that we actually thought was going to come here, but we had some bad recruiting and stuff those few years. So he jumped ship and went down to Alabama. I do think he's going to regret going to Alabama this weekend when he gets laid open by Florida State like he's going to.
Shane, talking about bad recruiting, could some argue that maybe Alabama's evaluation of talent is not where it was when Saban and his staff were involved in looking at these guys from top to bottom on both sides of the ball?
Well, it's definitely not the same anymore. You had the GOAT of recruiting, scouting, and picking who he wanted. Now you're living off the name of the team. You're not you're not going to get the same. You don't even get the same coaching. You don't get the same tree of like the way Saban held his coaches accountable.
Yep.
So I truly think that we're going to slowly see the downfall of Alabama.
And just think of who Saban had. You had Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Sarkisian, Mike Loxley. You had quality assistants that these players knew how to go get these guys, and you bring Nick in for the close. He closed the deal better than anybody else. You don't have that anymore. You have the name of Alabama. That's it.
Nick Saban would walk in. Sorry, my fault.
Oh, sorry, no problem. Go ahead, Papa.
No, Nick Saban would walk in and go, "I want your kid to play for me," and Dad would be like, "Okay, there's no need to talk about anything else. You all want to go have dinner or something like that." Like he didn't have to play. He walked in and was like, "You see all these?
It's true.
You want to go play? Let's go."
Yeah, Thanos walked in and snapped his finger, and that was the end of that. There's my comic book reference. I mean, goodness.
Jerry, or remember Jerry Reed in The Waterboy? Got the ring. You got the ring right here. Here you go. Flash the ring. Come on.
Let me just bring my box of rings.
I despise Alabama, but when I was 18, if he sat down in my parents' house, my dad would kick my ass kick my rear end if I said no, I wanted to go play somewhere else besides for there.
No, we're okay with saying that. We're all right.
Yeah.
No, it's the truth.
As much as I hate the program, I will always say Saban is one of the goats. He's the goat of college football.
He's the GOAT.
And as much as people hate Lane Kiffin's a offensive guru. So like I'll respect the coach all day, what they do X's and O's wise. I mean, I like them personally, but X's and O's, those are some of the greatest coaches you'll ever run into.
Can I just say this, guys, real quick? Being a Miami and a Tennessee fan, these are the two teams I hate the most, or whatever like that. Can they both lose? I mean, can I say that? Can they both lose?
Well, in the old days, a tie would be both of them losing, but there's no more ties.
No, there's no more. I mean, shoot, they'd go to the third overtime, and 2-point conversions would have to be converted.
Can we just get an earthquake and the teams just fall in? I mean,
that would be worth it.
Well, we love Two Pair. Two Pair's a big Florida State fan, part of our group. So shout out to him. So, but speaking of a former Seminole, one thing I want to give dap to, because he came on game day, and he will be doing his final show. And whether you love him or hate him, I will say that give him dap. I'm going to say this: love him or hate him. Maybe it should have been done 5 years ago. But at the same time, when you're a guy like this and what he's been through health-wise, same goes for Dick Vitale. These guys, we're going to miss them. Yep. They've made their staple. Right. You'll hear their voices in these classic games. But the headgear, I mean, I know McAfee's got his thing, and I don't know what they're going to do to replace Corso, but I am going to shed a tear Saturday morning. I am, and I'm actually recording it just for the nostalgic factor. And the fact is I'm glad they're giving him one more show and to basically tie it up in a perfect full circle cliche bow tie. It started in Columbus with that first game day, and the second and the last one is going to be there. Practically 30 years later, because the first game day was 95, if I'm not mistaken, on the road. And I mean, they had game day before, but it wasn't the same as it is now. Like the game day you see now is when that started in 95, not the thing where they were in the studio and maybe they'd go to a game or something when it was Fowler and Craig James and him. When Herb Street came on, that's when the show really took off, and Reese has filled in when Chris stepped away. But it's game day, and it is now a 3-hour show when we used to just clamor for it from 11:30 to 12:30 into those 12:30 Jefferson Pilot games, and now it's a 9 to noon thing, and even goes to 12:05 just to delay kickoff to make sure that the headgear and all the picks are made. But thoughts on Lee Corso's last his everlasting effect on college football, game day, as a coach, former player. Go guys, whomever.
He just turned 90. He just turned 90 years old. Yeah. If I look that good at 90, I will be a very, very, very happy man.
I'll make it to 90.
That man, what he's done for college football, period, can never be matched. Can never be matched. They showed his tributes the other day as a coach. I mean, he coached Louisville, some of the athletes he coached at Indiana and Navy. I forgot that he was a coach of the Naval Academy, and he was a very successful coach of the Naval Academy. He loves the military, and you can see why when you see him in his old films. And Burt Reynolds was his best friend and his roommate at Florida State. That's absolutely amazing.
Yep.
What a life he's led, man.
Shout out to our favorite Cajun down in Louisiana, Mr. Larry Frank Jr. Had a very successful show down there, so absolutely. Shane, what's your thoughts on Lee Corso?
Saturdays will not be the same after this weekend. I was watching the tributes that ESPN was putting out there. I got teary-eyed. Just hearing his kids, his grandkids talk about the impact they've had on him. That's what got me. Just coming from a dad standpoint, like that broke me. And especially with everything I'm dealing with right now, just know like your kids always are watching you and everything. But man, it's not gonna be the same. Like it's just like I look forward to what headgear he was putting on, if you kind of knew what it was going to be, like you just wanted to see what it was. And we'll never forget that one a couple of years ago where he's just like, F it.
Oh yeah, when he did the boomer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The props that he's used too. I mean, he used a flag of mine to pick a game, and he even signed my hat. I still have that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Brad.
I still wish that they were doing the Alabama Florida State game, just because that's where it started for him.
You know, I bet you 10 years ago that probably would have been the game, you know, but you're right. You're absolutely right. That would have been better there.
To me, that's full circle. Like, I get, the first one was in Columbus, they're doing it again, but to go from where you played in college to end your career as an announcer right there, that would have been more special.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad, what are you going to miss about Lee Corso? And was there any memorable time he picked Tennessee and it was nice that he was right about that one for a change?
It's funny that you bring that up, because first of all, Lee Corso, I mean, he's generational. I don't know the term. I mean, he's a fixture. He's your John Ward. I mean, he's, for us, I mean, you get one of those a generation if you're lucky, and we were all lucky enough to live during a time when we got to see the GOAT of college football talk about what he knows best. And it was just, I remember growing up watching it with my dad, and I didn't really know what was going on. And in the early 90s, I started learning football and stuff. And he's like, listen to this old man, and you would just sit there and listen to him. And he didn't really make a lot of sense until he started making picks. And then you're like, this guy knows what he's talking about. There's no doubt about it. And you guys talk about 90 years old. I won't make it there, but if I know he's got an earpiece in his ear, but if I can remember that much about college football at 90, I feel like I've done something right in this world. But I think I might, not to cut you off, but I think I heard you mention something earlier, that ESPN tribute they did to him. I think it was 2 Fridays ago when they showed it before the Iowa State game. I mean, a grown man, and I was in tears, like, I'm glad there's not anybody around here.
No, yeah, those onions. I mean, we were just chopping up onions to put in the chili. What are you talking about there?
Especially when I saw Herb Street and his tribute, because Herb Street has thought of him not just as a friend, but like a second father.
Yeah.
When Kirk lost his, Lee became his second father, and what he has meant.
The stories that Kirk has told about Lee, he's like, this is a guy that, I mean, he'll drink you under the table. Like, they've had some fun, I'm sure, on the road, leading up to the games, the post things. And, Lee used to be on the sidelines. And I remember one time he almost got wiped out. And that older man jumped and moved, thank God, or his legs would have been taken out from under him. And it's like Sunshine Scooter still got some moves. But, Brad, you touched on something. It always struck me. I didn't realize he was a Florida State alum, but I thought that he loved Florida so much, and it would get under my skin as a kid every time he picked Florida against Tennessee when we had Peyton Manning, and damn it, he was right every time. I'm like, screw this guy or whatever like that. You're going to be wrong, Lee. You're going to be wrong this time. No. We were the ones with egg on our face, but
hey, 2001, he was wrong. He was wrong in 2001. They were there that day, and I remember that day because I was down there too. And I was an officer, and I was with the band. I helped escort the UT band down to Gainesville. And I'll tell you what, he was wrong that day. and they let him know about it in the post game. But but Tennessee fans were classy about it. Let him know he was wrong, and he admitted, I was wrong.
Not to be a jackass or whatever like that, we should have known he was already kind of slipping or what have you in 2001. He picked Nebraska over that great Miami team in the 2001 Rose Bowl. I mean, don't let your Florida State hatred get in the way of picking that great Miami team. But
I personally think he just did it for ratings, because I think in the back of his mind he knew.
Probably. So,
but he's an amazing guy. Got to see him on the sidelines of UT games that I worked. The last time he was here with the Alabama game in 2022, the scene of him sitting there with Peyton and McAfee, and that, I'll never forget that as long as I live, because he looked like he wanted to pick Alabama, but he goes, give me Tennessee. He flew off that cap and put it on, and that was that place just went absolutely nuts.
Not to cut you off, Kerry, but I want to just give a plug to Larry Frank because if everybody knows, I used to do U Talk with Larry Frank and Devin Lloyd. Tomorrow night, they are having the great Jimmy Johnson on their show tomorrow night. So tune in to U Talk on YouTube if you want to see them. Larry talking about how he's a little bit nervous interviewing him. You're going to do great, brother. Honestly, you just be yourself.
Yeah, you are.
know your stuff, and I'm sure he'll appreciate anything you ask him. And what a tribute to you guys to get. I mean, you've had Santana Moss, Jeremy Shockey, Clinton Portis. You've had a kid from Kid and Play. You've had Tommy Davidson on there. You've had Ben Troop, and now you have the great Jimmy Johnson on that show. So
one of my 10 greatest coaches of all time.
Funny story. I served with Ben Troop's brother.
Did you really?
Really?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Ben Troop was probably one of their best interviews. Even though he's a former Gator, the guy just knew football and
he was a heck of a football player.
A hell of a football player, tight end. And,
I met his brother on a deployment to Iraq. We were in Al-Qaim, Iraq, which is an old train station right there on the Syrian border. Met him there because I was a huge Titans fan. And then I get orders to my next unit. It's the same unit he's in. So got to meet him a few times. That's pretty cool. Even got to go to a Titans game courtesy of him.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, man.
So for sure. So, well, back to the matchups though. Obviously, speaking of Miami, you got the Catholics versus Convicts on Sunday night. That's going to be the big game Sunday night. But before you even get to that one, you've got a 3:30 game between South Carolina and Virginia Tech. I almost call it the Beamer Bowl in a way because Frank Beamer, legendary coach for Virginia Tech for so many years, his son Shane at South Carolina. I mean, we've talked about it on this show. We think South Carolina is one of probably those teams that might be overrated. Yes, they paid a lot of money for their quarterback, but they lost a lot from that team from last year. And, Virginia Tech is no slouch. Also, this game being played in Atlanta as part of that Chick-fil-A big weekend classic. Tennessee, Syracuse Saturday. You got Virginia Tech, South Carolina on Sunday. What's your thoughts on that game, by the way?
Give me the Hokies.
Nice. I like that pick.
South Carolina, all they have is swagger, and that's it. I don't think they have anything to back it up. They haven't for 2 or 3 years now.
Beamer gives a bad name to Shane's all across the world.
Yeah.
For me to respect his dad so much, he has ruined his name.
Yeah, tell me.
He's a little jerk. He's a little jerk. He really is. And he runs his mouth. I mean, he really runs his mouth, and he hasn't done anything to earn that status. You would have thought that he's won an SEC title to be that.
Did you see their new apparel deal that they got?
What now? No, I didn't.
South Carolina's going to Nike. They're basically getting what Tennessee had. It's like, we're getting $500,000 for something. I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to see how Nike operates, even though it's right there on here, but I'm repping my school, so it's different. But Tennessee won in this apparel deal with Adidas.
Yes, they did.
$20 million a year for 10 years, and money's going towards the players. Ooh.
And I'll give you an even bigger kicker. The vice president of the Adidas is Candace Parker.
Look at that, man.
You don't think
that's
very convenient. You don't think she's going to add another few dollars to her alma mater, especially her girls? Oh, yeah.
And Tennessee's got full control over their jerseys. So we aren't going to get those hideous gray checkerboard ones that they try to throw out. What was that, Butch's last year, I think? God, those are hideous.
Tennessee is going to be to Adidas with Oregon and North Carolina with the Jordan brand to Nike.
Yep.
I was going to say, Phil Knight's got some competition now.
They got some major competition.
Larry Frank writes, did you all see Norvell giving the FSU band a pep talk tied by 40?
I don't see it.
I'll tell you this. Squirt guns, super soakers, that guy, man, whatever. He had dreadlocks. He was Memphis's coach. I mean, I don't know if he even survives after this year if Florida State has another 3-8 year or 3-9, whatever it is. But we'll see what happens with that.
With Virginia Tech, if they don't beat South Carolina, their coach better start getting prepared with a U-Haul van because Michael Vick will be coaching that team in 2 years.
You might be right. You definitely might be right. I'll tell you one thing. He's turned that program around. That Virginia Tech coach. He played there. He kind of knows that mentality. Kind of reminds me of a younger Bud Foster, the great defensive coordinator the Hokies had. Brad, are you SEC biased with South Carolina, or do you think the Hokies get it done in Atlanta, getting a big win for the ACC, whether it is over a maybe middle of the road SEC team? But remember, anytime another league beats an SEC opponent, they thump their chest out because the SEC has shown to be the respect that it's gotten as so many national championships in all the sports. But what's your thoughts on that game, Bud?
Man, I'm very glad you asked me this. I've been thinking about this, and I was hoping I could work this into the conversation. You said SEC. I've always said SEC stands for superior to every conference. So, I mean, there's your answer right there. And, yes, I'm extremely biased. But when it comes to the Cox over there in Carolina, that's the one that, them and Bama, if they lose, I'll just rep the other 14 teams in the conference.
Yep.
Can I laugh with you about something?
It only takes one hit.
Can I laugh with you guys about something? A couple of years ago, South Carolina opened the college football season, and they had the announcer, whoever their guy is, and so forth, there at Bryce Wallace Stadium, and he said, "Get ready for the most exciting pregame in college football." And I'm like thinking on myself, like, what's more better than like the power tee or running through the smoke or something like that? And they showed the gamecock in a cage, like shaking like this. And I go, what the hell is this or whatever? That's nothing exciting about that. And I think they lost that game too.
Well, they also played Ric Flair's old theme 2001, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Pretty cool. Which is still pretty cool. Yeah.
Rick wants that back though. They haven't earned it anymore.
But not a bad place to watch a game either is Columbia, South Carolina. I've been there several times. Not a bad place to watch a game, especially on a Saturday night. Yeah. I made the trip with Tennessee over for years with them, and that was always a great trip because it's a short trip. A lot of fans go. You could come back that night, or you could stay down in Columbia the morning and stay over. It's a great place to watch a game. And they have a jail. They still have one of the few stadiums that has a jail, a judge, and lawyers underneath. If you get arrested for intoxicating or anything in the stadium, you could be arraigned and bailed out the same night.
It's true.
Before the game's over.
Only in Carolina. Only in
Carolina. Only in Columbia.
Yep.
I will throw this out there, guys. Another game that is, you talk about a rematch of another national championship. I like to call it the last national championship game in BC, meaning before COVID. And it was Clemson versus LSU. It's the Battle of the Tiger this Saturday night, ABC's last game of the night. If we're the appetizer, you've got the afternoon course with FSU Alabama. You've got the main course at 7:30 between these two contenders. Both are the Tigers. Been a long road for both teams since both Sunshine and Joe Burrow are no longer leading those teams. But your thoughts on this game on Saturday night between these two schools?
No Orgeron either. No Ed Orgeron. Boy, simple to me. The winner of this game's in the playoff. The winner of this game gets one of the first spots. That's how big this thing is. You got 4 versus 9. You got probably 2 of the most experienced quarterbacks in the country with Nussmeier and Klubnik. Now, Clemson may probably win the game because it's not Tennessee. Anything that Clemson does and they go against Tennessee, we're their daddy. That's obvious. No matter what sport, football, baseball, basketball, you name it, we own Clemson. LSU, this is huge for Brian Kelly. If Brian Kelly ever needed to win an opening game, this is the one he needs to win. He loses this one, the U-Haul will already start moving slowly towards Baton Rouge. because we all know where this is going quickly. If he,
I think Larry or you said it best on the show a couple of weeks ago. He's 0 and whatever with these opening games for LSU, and this is as big as they come. Not to mention he has got a tremendous class in the wings waiting, and those guys might start looking around if the NIL and this all falls through or what have you. I mean, because again, we've seen some superior players go there and careers wasted. And even when he was at Notre Dame, I mean, Marcus Freeman has surpassed what he's done already in his short time
in 3 years. Yep.
So, Shane, what's your thoughts on this game between LSU and Clemson? They're Howard's Rock, and they're in Clemson, Death Valley.
I don't like Dabo and I don't like Kelly. I respect LSU as a program more. I'd like to see them get the win, but I want to see Brian Kelly out of LSU so bad. Like I respect that program and its tradition. That's why I like them to an extent. I just can't stand Brian Kelly because he reminds me too much of Butch Jones. But that's where Butch Jones learned everything. So that's why
we almost got Brian Kelly. If it hadn't been Lane Kiffin, Brian Kelly was in the running for that job for Tennessee.
Oh gosh, Pearson thought. Oh hell no!
It's the truth. So yeah, but
I would have rather had Derek Dickey than Derek Dooley than that. I would have rather had Dooley.
I would have gone through the Pruitt era again.
Oh hell yeah! Where's the McDonald's bags?
Oh my gosh!
Given that there was a Tennessee player living in my former neighborhood when I was married, there was definitely some stuff going on with those McDonald's bags because he had a.
I think McDonald's is the only restaurant left on the Strip. I mean, can we even call it the Strip anymore, guys?
Well, they got Whataburger now.
Oh, yeah, they got Whataburger now. They
19-hour wait to go to Whataburger on Monday.
Yep. Nice. Whataburger. That's right. So,
yeah, they just put it in Monday.
Give me LSU by 3. Just because I really can't stand Dabo.
Oh, he's the worst. He's the worst. So,
until Dabo learns to play the big boy game and use the portal, which he is adamant against doing, then I think he's on his way down. And I'm actually kind of waiting for the day he goes to Alabama now. It used to scare me, but if he's not going to play the portal game, bring him on down. We'll just wax the floor with him next.
Can I say this? This is now going to be year 3 of the Cade Klubnik, and I'm just not seeing the hype there. That to follow in Sunshine. I know that what's his name? That was the Samoan kid that was there for a bit.
Ugale.
Yes, him, DJ. Thank you. And he got hurt at Florida State last year and had a good year at Oregon State. But realistically, they ran him off, and I mean, Klubnik better do something. I mean, do they even have anybody waiting in the wings? Because he doesn't do the transfer portal or anything like that. He's like, we homegrown our guys here at Clemson. Well, you've kind of fallen behind everybody else, man. I mean, you're a long way away from that team that embarrassed Alabama and San Francisco in that national title game all those years ago. So
it's so funny you bring that up. Me and my friends always talk. There's a direct correlation between the uptick in Clemson and the downtick in Tennessee, just from one orange to another. We went through all those coaches. Heaven for Sunshine was supposed to come here. We all know the story of Sunshine.
T. Higgins. T. Higgins was in our backyard.
T. Higgins was in Oak Ridge. He worked with a buddy of mine at my previous job. I mean, we got a picture of Sunshine holding an Eric Ainge, thing at the orange and white game, and we're like, no, we don't know. Our coach told him he didn't fit the system, so no thank you. So think about those players we let slide. Clemson owes us a huge thank you, because if we don't do that, they're still in the bottom right now.
Listen, I know that he wasn't his favorite son, but he was still his son. How does T. Martin's son go to Clemson and was here at Catholic and didn't come to Tennessee? I mean, you just think you could have gotten Sunshine, T. Higgins, and Amari all at Tennessee. I mean, unbelievable. Unfreaking.
Well, at that time, Clemson was just on a roll.
Yeah,
and they were producing receivers like crazy. You have to do what's best for your child at that moment, and we didn't have the greatest relationship with T.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah, we messed that one up.
I could also
coaching.
think
We messed that up.
T did leave because left the program because the way Pruitt was trying to run things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I could also think of another downfall that involves Clemson. Think of Deshaun Watson. The last we left Clemson, he was a national champion quarterback. His career and his life basically went out. You wonder what happened at Clemson. If all that stuff came out when he was a Texan, how much of that happened at Clemson? Clemson hasn't been the same since he left.
That's true.
Valid,
Also.
very valid.
That very valid point. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they correlate with each other too, because Deshaun is pretty much about to be out of the NFL after he gets over this last injury, gets the rest of his money. Dabo has had that one national championship appearance, and Joe Burrow, they nearly put up 60 on him. And I thought they were going to put up 80.
Well,
they called the dogs.
They did.
I'm going to throw. I'll throw something else out there. If you think about this, I wonder if Clemson even becomes the program that they come to be, because remember, Fulmer used to really get a lot of recruits out of South Carolina. I mean, we used to dominate South Carolina, and Georgia and Alabama to an extent until Georgia hired Mark Richt. I mean, yes, Mark Richt is Mark Richt. He got Georgia to where it was, and Kirby just took it to another level. But he wasn't inheriting a bowl of crap either, I mean, and you look at Clemson, the way they were recruiting, because those kids would have probably gone from back in the day that were on those 90s Tennessee teams that were from South Carolina and Georgia. They went to Tennessee because those programs were down. They really.
And you see what Heupel's doing now. Heupel's getting back into South Carolina, getting back.
Got a great quarterback. Great quarterback on the way. Top 5 guys.
He's getting back into those states, and that's a big deal for Josh Heupel.
Absolutely. So, yeah. This was interesting. Did you all see where Jeremiah said him and Ryan Williams almost went to Georgia together?
How scary would that have been?
Skip playing those for a few years.
Oh my God, that is a scary tandem right there. I mean, honestly. So yeah. Clemson must have no massage parlors.
They outlawed them. After they graduated.
No happy endings.
yeah, not theirs. Hey,
not
you know what?
Anyway.
I'll tell you one thing. There might not be a happy ending for one of those teams at 11:30, and realistically, we've talked about it. LSU needs that game more than Clemson because, truth be told, Clemson could lose that, run shit over the ACC and still get in at 11-1. Let's just be real, or 12-1, whatever the record would be with the ACC championship game appearance. But because this is not a conference game, one thing I wanted to bring to your attention, guys, is this could be the last time you see a game like that of Clemson and LSU, especially with the news now of this 9-game conferences, the 9-game conference for the SEC. Why would you play a game like this? And when you could probably have a cream puff, honestly, at this point, because you're going to need one with the gauntlet that you're going to face with the 9 games. Now, obviously, the schedule's staggered. I heard something that Georgia's no longer on Tennessee's schedule after this year, and that is surprising to me because that's a border war.
It's not surprising to me.
It's not. No,
it's not.
Really? Huh.
I don't think Florida's going to be on Tennessee's schedule in the future either. I think they're going to become the rotating part. If you ask me who Tennessee, I asked some people this week and I had a chance to answer a question myself. Who would Tennessee's 3 common opponents be? I said my answer is simple: Alabama, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt, because those 3 they've played the longest.
Yep.
They should keep those rivalries there. And then you can rotate the other 6. I mean, we've played Oklahoma. I don't think Oklahoma's on next year's schedule. Texas will be on next year's schedule.
Yes, and Southwest Airlines now flies directly to Austin. So if everybody needs tickets.
You can tell who's going to be on the schedules just by what the airport's picking up.
And I think it's great that everybody's now going to be 9-game schedule, because now this gives the great marquee players a chance to play everybody. Like Eli Manning, I listened to him the other day. He said the only team he never played in the SEC was Tennessee.
He was, yeah. It was weird how that worked out.
Yeah, how that worked. They said even with 12 teams, he never got to play Tennessee. He never got to play a game in Neyland Stadium.
was in the rotation. The Jackie Sherrill's last couple of years during that time. Shane, Brad, do we agree on this? And I agree with Kerry. If Kentucky's on the schedule, got to bring that damn beer barrel back. Come on.
Yes.
Oh yes.
back. I
Bring
mean,
it
look,
back.
it's been years since that accident happened.
Rename the barrel. You don't even have to call it the bear
I mean,
barrel.
they named it the Great Tailgate. They don't call it the cocktail party anymore. The Great
Exactly.
Tailgate of
You
Florida.
don't call it, even though it's an old-fashioned bourbon barrel, just call it the barrel bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, the barrel bowl.
Yes.
Moonshine, bourbon, do something. The Jack Daniels barrel. Now that would be something.
The bourbon barrel is perfect.
More of a whiskey barrel, anyways. Given what goes on, like
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. Honestly, Kerry, you do have a point with that, with Kentucky and Tennessee. I mean, that there's some hatred there, and obviously we've been more successful in football. They've been more successful in basketball, but still, we've stolen a lot more in basketball from them than they have us in football.
Especially recently.
Exactly. So. Yeah.
And for both teams, we're each other's Super Bowl. If we beat them in basketball, we're on cloud 9, and if for some stupid reason
they beat us in football,
you can't talk to a Kentucky fan for a whole year if they beat us. You just can't do it.
Real quick, just to talk Tennessee basketball real quick. The Tennessee Duke preseason game that's not even going to count sold out in 5 minutes and has 25,000 fans. It's going to be on ESPNU Sunday, October 26th. I was just absolutely. I'm glad I got my ticket, but yeah, it's sold out in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Just to let you know, a preseason game, 25,000. Duke coming here, and then Tennessee returns next year to Cameron for a preseason game. So unbelievable. So
I think that's called an anything school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, for sure. So, I will say this much. The other Big Ten, the other big top 10 matchup, obviously the Sunday night game, Miami against Notre Dame, Catholics versus convicts. One thing that I was going to bring up, Larry, if I do have a chance to, call in, or if anything, if you can make a point for me on Friday night, because obviously I'll be busy with my commitment to West and the Maryville football game doing the stats. But if you could bring up something, if you all have the pregame hype show on Friday. The one thing that I want to bring up is that I made a point on Utah many years ago that Marcus Freeman is starting at Notre Dame, and he's a minority coach. You have Mario Cristobal, who has come back home to Miami. He's a minority coach, being Cuban American. But at the same time, I was really interested to see whose program was really going to take off with those two hires. And yes, Miami had some success last year with Cam Ward, now with the Titans and the #1 pick and everything. But it was Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman have gotten to the national championship game, whether they played a wounded Georgia, whether they, Penn State, choked in that game. Notre Dame got there. And like I said, Marcus Freeman has done a lot more with a lot less there at Notre Dame, and the money spent compared to what Miami has done. And so in a way, somebody was telling me, I was talking to a Miami fan about this. They were like, Miami could lose this game and still go 11-1 and get to the playoff. And I said, truth be told, if Miami loses a game like this, the wheels could come off a lot sooner than that. I think Miami needs this win more. And also, if you hate Notre Dame like I do, there's only 2 teams on Notre Dame's schedule that can beat them, Miami being one of them. But then Texas A&M has got to go to Notre Dame Stadium for that return game. And if Notre Dame wins those 2, you might as well pencil them in 12-0 in the top seeds, regardless that they don't play in a conference. But what's your initial thoughts on this game, guys, of the Notre Dame and the and obviously Miami Sunday night with an action-packed weekend of football, obviously, of top 10 matchups?
Give me Miami by 10.
Wow. You're better picker than I am on that,
I
man.
despise Notre Dame being ranked so high every freaking year when they don't even play in a conference and they have a cupcake-ass schedule.
You're right. Yeah.
This is going to be such a this may be the most physical ball game of the entire weekend. These two are going to go at each other like junkyard dogs. It's going to be hot. It's going to be steamy. It's Sunday night in Miami. It's going to be, oh boy. And I'm like Shane. I think Miami wins, but I think it's a lower scoring game. And you want to talk about a redemption game, Carson Beck has a chance to stamp his name on a Heisman ballot.
Yeah.
Has a chance to stick it to Georgia and stamp his name beating Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, Shane, I would love to see Miami win by 10 points, obviously being from there and being raised a Kane fan. The truth of the matter is, the only hope that I have is that Miami, with a new defensive coordinator, with some defensive transfers that they desperately needed, I'm hoping that the environment at Hard Rock Stadium will make that Notre Dame freshman quarterback screw up. I mean, obviously Carson Beck has played in big games before. He may not have the same talent level that he did at Georgia, but Beck might do just enough to get by Notre Dame. Notre Dame also, Brad, breaking in a new defensive coordinator themselves. Al Golden, who has been on their staff for the last 3 years, is now a Cincinnati Bengals defensive coordinator. So, but your thoughts on the Notre Dame Miami game initially and so forth, of what you like in that one and who you think might win. So.
My best friend in the world is a Notre Dame fan, so I hate when I have to say this stuff. I'm going to agree with Shane. If there was some way both teams could lose, I would not get upset. But I mean, on paper, this looks like a game where the Irish should just walk all over them. But when you go down to Florida at night, you never know what's going to go on down there. Notre Dame's playing with a chip on their shoulder for the last game they played last year. But I mean, it's going to be a heck of a ball game. I think it's going to be a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the sad part is that when you have Mario Cristobal as Miami's coach, I mean, and I was one of the ones that was really excited about that hire, and I mean, it's put up or shut up time. I mean, I've made my case as a Miami fan. Maybe we didn't have the great coaches before him, but they certainly didn't have a $10 million staff. They didn't have NIL to work with to bring in players and compete. At the end of the day, you can recruit, but where's the development? Where's the evaluations of your recruits? And where is the development, as I said, of where the players actually show that they are 4 or 5 stars and that they're prepared? And I mean, I make this point, Larry, honestly, and I know that I get a lot of flack on the Utah show from the fans that I'm not a true Miami fan. I just call it how it is. The fact of the matter is that your offense was ranked number 1, with the exception of Cam Ward, all got cut yesterday. Damian Martinez, Xavier Restrepo, and the other receiver that they had, they all got cut, and those were all big time targets of Cam Ward. So some people could say that Elijah Arroyo is going to make the team because he got picked in the 3rd round as a tight end for who he got drafted by. But my point is that Cam Ward was the reason why that fool's gold of a Miami team had the success that they did. I was excited for it as a Miami fan. It was good. It was something to talk about. But at the end of the day, we should have seen it coming. And the NFL basically said, you're still not the Miami of old. And so tomorrow or Sunday night, they've got to prove that, the money you've spent, is it on the right guys? And I've argued that with NIL for a long time. I mean, the loyalty's not there, guys. I mean, here we've got Tennessee, Syracuse. Let's talk about this game. I mean, here, a year ago, we were thinking, okay, Nico will be back. Well, Nico's not here, and I'm glad he's not here. I don't want anybody that's not here that doesn't want to be here more than anything. But damn it, how many guys that have been here that didn't even play for $2 million a year like this, ungrateful prima donna, honestly. I mean, let's be real. So what's your guys' thoughts on, what we've got here at Tennessee at quarterback, and, the NIL situation, and how does their season start with a Syracuse team that's pretty much rebuilding from everything they lost last year, but still a good coach who knows, how to build a program with SEC ties. What's your all's thoughts on the Syracuse game? Shane, if you want to go first, go for it. So, yeah.
Give me Tennessee by 17. And I think Syracuse will just be happy to see a whole bunch of orange in a stadium packed full. Might be the wrong shade of orange, but
right shade.
It's good. It's not going to be their orange.
Yeah, it's going to be our right shade. But for them, those will be happy to see a bunch of orange in stands and the stadium be packed for once.
I will say this much, guys. I really believe that again, Syracuse, like you've mentioned, Carrie, your mom, I believe, went there, and it was a very proud program. Jim Brown, the Express, and Donovan McNabb. They've had some great players over the years. Maybe we're known for basketball as of late because of Boeheim and Carmelo and all that, and some of their successful players that played there. But realistically, Tennessee once upon a time started their national championship season against Syracuse, and that done them
and they had Arkansas that same season. And we got them again, so hopefully it feels like '98 the whole way through.
This is going to be
with a few less heart attacks this time.
When I looked at this game, I looked at what left and what's all right. Syracuse has replaced 20 of 22 offensive starters and defensive starters. That's basically replacing 2/3, half of a team, basically, that Syracuse had to replace out of the transfer portal. Tennessee, yes, quarterback, and then their defense is still intact. Tennessee's defense may be better this year than it was last year, and that's a scary proposition for anybody in the SEC. Plus, I think the unknown of Joey Aguilar, I think he's going to do very well. Heck, if he does half as good as Nico did last year, Tennessee wins 10 games.
I think the playbook opens.
There's no reason Tennessee can win 10 games. I think I'm like Shane. I think the playbook opens up for Joey Aguilar.
I don't think Nico could read the defense, and he was handicapped what we've seen in the past from Tennessee's offense. Our defense is stellar, and like I just said a second ago about how it's going to be like '98. We lost a bunch of players and came back even more defensively loaded the next year. Everybody questioned what our offense was going to do. They're questioning what our offense is going to do this year. Our defense is stacked. So 10-2 is the floor. Undefeated is the ceiling.
The ceiling.
Brad, you're going to be there. Brad, you're going to be there front and center. Where are the seats at, number one? And number two, what are you looking forward to the most, obviously, from just being there in that environment in Mercedes-Benz Stadium? But your thoughts on how the Vols do against Syracuse, and we'll do scores here in a little bit. But what are your thoughts on this game initially when these two traditional powers match up?
Traditional powers, I like it. First of all, 30-yard line, about 10, 12 rows up, so I got decent seats. I paid for them, but I got decent seats. Not bad at all. I've been there a few other times. I've not been that low yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing, us beating the brakes off of them. But as far as predictions, Deshaun Bishop, 250 yards from scrimmage, and Syracuse gives up at halftime.
Nice.
Because we're talking about going back to '98 and everything. Joey Aguilar is a huge question mark. Our defense is there, but something that's not a huge question mark is our running game. Whether it's Bishop or I cannot think of the guy's name behind him that they said could actually end up taking Bishop's spot. They're going to run all over the place.
Peyton Lewis is a star.
Yeah, Lewis. Yeah, that's him.
And then you got Peyton Lewis also. You got three running backs.
Yeah,
and back to those old late '90s days where we had just a staple running backs. As long as you got
two Travises and a Jamal did us just fine.
Truth be told, I was very disappointed with some of the offensive linemen that Tennessee had last year. I don't think that offensive line lived up to what it was supposed to be preseason last year. And I'm looking forward to this offensive line this year. Really, I think it's an upgrade at some of the different spots. And I like that they have a lot to prove. And you mentioned Aguilar. I think he can run the offense. I mean, for a Josh Heupel offense to be successful, it's got to be fast. You got to have that defense hogging air. You cannot allow them to have the changes that be made. Nico was too slow to the line. The play took too long to, change and audible. And you allow players to get, we saw Herndon Hooker run the offense correctly. And if Heupel finally has a guy that can run his offense, I know the guys that he has in mind is still 1 year away playing high school football right now in South Carolina. But at the same time, you gotta be fast. You gotta that's what makes this offense go. And the defense is now in a position to be conditioned. If you score quick, that they're going to be back out there, ready to receive whatever the opposing offense throws at them. Those are my initial thoughts.
I think Aguilar came in knowing he came in and got to work the second he got off campus. And he spent 4 days living in the facility just to learn the playbook.
Yep.
And he got named the starter with 2 weeks left before the season started. So
2 weeks ago.
There was no waiting to find out who it was going to be. The battle obviously wasn't what everybody thought it was going to be, and here we go. So And
No, I
he's,
think so.
he's proven he can air it out. As long as we got the receivers who can make the catch, we'll be good.
Yeah.
From what I've heard with the offensive line, David Sanders is every bit the mean monster that they say he is, and then some. Because that dude is huge. That dude is huge.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
My God.
I'm very excited about
They got
both,
some dogs.
both sides of the offense and defensive line for Tennessee, and they needed to do something because look at what happened in that game against Ohio State last year.
They got
You
pushed
saw
around.
it in the trenches. Yeah, they got pushed around.
They
and
got
we
pushed
couldn't
around.
do nothing.
Did y'all see the report today where Nico went and saw Oregon and UCLA play on Tennessee's bye week last year?
Yeah, I saw that.
Lost Arkansas.
He was shopping around at that point.
Yep.
Everything
And
I
you guys-
hear makes me throw up. But anyway, yeah. I mean,
Both you guys hit on it earlier. I think we've all heard that when Aguilar came in, they actually opened up the playbook because with whether his youth or inexperience or what, they said that Coach had to dumb the playbook down for Nico last year. I mean, we were all hyped drinking the orange Kool-Aid, but Coach was in the locker room dumbing things down for him. Where were we really at that point in time?
Mm-hmm.
well, let me just tell you this, not to speak for Oregon's coach, but I think they got the better end of the deal with Dante Moore as their quarterback as opposed to
They're going to be
Nico.
scary, man.
So, yeah, they are. And UCLA is not even going to do anything in basketball or football in the Big Ten. Thank you very much. So yeah.
They're a joke if they think Nico's going to get drafted number 1 next year based on his play in UCLA this year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
He'll be a 6th round draft pick.
Go ahead, Kerry.
I'll tell you what. When I look, they talk about Joey Aguilar's turnovers. I actually think the turnovers go down. This offense is going to allow him to have a terrific running game behind him. If the running game does what they normally do, which is run for over 200 yards a game, his mistakes get cut down big time. And his receivers and his tight ends, watch his tight ends, Kitzelman, Ethan Davis. They may have a big year because middle of the field may open up and they could run them seam routes with them tight ends, 1-6-5, the other 6-4. They could run that seam all day long.
Those are weapons.
Around town, they've been talking good things about Ethan Davis. They said this could be his year, and he's up for it. I'm ready to see what that looks like.
I like that. No, I like the tight end. You have to have tight ends in this like you do. I mean, the way that the NFL is using a 2 tight end system and even putting tight ends in the slot even to be matchup nightmares. You got to do it, man.
Remember how Princeton Fant was used when he was here when Hooker ran that offense?
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Davis and
brother.
have that same talent that he did. They could be huge.
Well,
Princeton
We can find him. We can recruit him.
A utility player on the offense.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and Tennessee has had some traditional guys dating back to Witten, obviously that have done very well at that position and had some very successful years in the NFL.
And by the way, his son, Jason, you mentioned Jason Witten. His son's one of the top tight ends in the country, and Tennessee's looking at him big time.
He'll be at the Georgia game.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
They've already offered him a scholarship. It's just a matter of when he's going to sign.
Just a matter of time. Yep.
Look at that.
And they brought him up here without his parents for his first visit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about them. It was about
him,
his dad and everything that went
It
on.
was about him. Yep.
Shane, great point. Because now with the rules again, like the ever changing landscape of both college football and college basketball, you now get 2 official visits.
Yep.
And that's something that is really intriguing, and so forth. And before, you had that unofficial thing, whatever, but official visits, I mean, and you can take 2. Like that's pretty big because that gives a school 2 opportunities to wine and dine somebody and really lure them in and so forth.
I'm going to blow you away with this one stat before we get going on something else. The top 10 matches, the top 10 teams that we playing this weekend, 6 of those top 10 either have a new starter at quarterback or from the transfer portal. Yeah. That has never happened in this era. You're going to be seeing a lot more of that.
Yes, you are.
Football has changed. It won't ever be like when it's hopefully it's as good, but it'll never be like it was when we were kids watching it.
Can I also one last thing before we do move on to the national championship contenders, and I think it's a great segue because you did bring it up, Kerry. This will be the first year that we don't have that COVID 5th extra year and all that in any of sports, basketball especially. So it's going to be very interesting. I think you're going to start to see like a little bit of a change of maybe some people, because at this point, I think people are throwing around cash, hoping to land a fish, but it's not a marquee fish, or they're going to have the experience of a guy that's had 5 or 6 years within a program. So, but you know,
Diego Pavlo, the quarterback at Vanderbilt, this is his 7th year. He's the last of the COVID players.
Yeah.
He's the very last. And he shouldn't be there, but they gave him
he
a
is
7th year.
he is almost 2 years away from getting that Cam McCormick 9-year love that Miami has. That guy. So guys, who are some of your contenders right now? We'll do pretenders next, but who are some of the contenders that you really think Lightning can catch a bottle and maybe they have a special 98-like season for like Tennessee did? Or are they a dominant team that we've seen in the past, like an LSU 2019 or a 2001 Miami? Who do you think, or do we have any of that at all? Do we just have a bunch of teams that have some names and maybe the schedule fits to what they need to do? Again, it's not just one game now. It really is about the playoff matchups and if you can get hot in December going into January. What are your all's thoughts?
To me, there's no clear-cut just front runner. I mean, we've all talked about, or either this week or I was listening to you guys last week, Penn State is extremely overrated. Ohio State's going to have to prove it to me. You know, new quarterback, new system. They're going to have to prove. First of all, they play in the weakest division in the world. They have to prove that they can beat Michigan to even deserve to be there. First of all, but I don't see any this year.
Guys, can I just say this real quick?
You're right.
Brad, keep your train of thought. Penn State's football schedule this year is softer than a baby's ass. Anyway, keep going. So, honestly.
It's easier than my Niners pro schedule. And, hey, I'll be the first to admit that. But, yeah, it's a cakewalk. And they're right up there with them this year. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Villanova. They're playing Villanova. It's not even basketball. I mean, Nevada is the CBS 3:30 game this week. I mean, oh my God! Like,
I know Colin Kaepernick doesn't play for Nevada, so he ain't walking in the door.
He didn't even coach for them. How about that?
Oh my God! I knew as soon as I said Niners fan, I knew it was coming up sooner or later. But I mean, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I think it's more of a dig at damn Penn State playing Nevada that first.
Yeah,
game.
That's more of a dig. I mean, my God.
Really should, so.
And Penn State's not done anything since they gone.
Penn State's schedule is softer than Mario Cristobal's breast. Yep, absolutely. So
you don't like Mario, don't you?
Larry, it will be the first to get the U-Haul truck there to Mario the minute he screws up. And here's the thing. The funny thing is, it's not that Mario loses like the big games. He's won those. It's these games that he loses with Oregon to Stanford that has no business of happening, or
and
not
Georgia
taking a knee and losing to Georgia Tech. I mean, what the hell is he doing? I mean, $10 million. I know how to take a knee. I know how to count seconds. I mean, good God. So bastard. Cost me so much money that day. Larry's going with Texas to win the whole thing. I mean, that's my pick when we get to that point or whatever. But realistically, there's got to be a lot of football and a lot of games.
Yeah, that's why there's not a dominant team. There's not a dominant team.
Are we picking who we think makes the top 12, or are we just going to go with who we think has a legitimate chance?
I like the legitimate chance. That's what I want. I want you give me top 3 of yours. I mean, because look, we know Penn State's going to get there because they can take a wheelchair there, and even Franklin can't screw up that wet dream. But I'm just saying that let's be absolutely real that when Penn State laces it up against a big dog from the SEC, they're going to get their ass handed to them. They should have it last year, but the problem is that, Texas's kicker couldn't make a kick. So that's the problem. So, and now he's at Miami. Go figure. So love NIL.
My top 4, no particular order: Tennessee, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia.
I like it.
I agree with Shane. I agree with 3 of them with Shane. I like Tennessee's chances. I like Georgia's. Although I think that Tennessee-Georgia game, one of them could get eliminated week 3. That's a big game week 3.
I'm just glad Tennessee's got it early. But
I like Oregon. I think Oregon's dangerous.
We know a 2-loss team can get in. That's well. So when it's all said and done, either Tennessee or Georgia come out with 1 to 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee makes it to the SEC championship but loses to Texas.
Yep.
Which is, I hate saying it. So say we go undefeated, there's our one loss. Or I think we beat Georgia, but then Georgia gets in just with rankings.
Here's my shocker. I don't think Texas makes the SEC championship game.
I could see that.
I see a scenario where they don't make it.
I can see a Tennessee-Georgia rematch.
Yep. I could see an Ole Miss team that no one's looking at. Kiffin's due for a championship game. And this would be the year. No Jackson Dart, none of that talent.
Walter Nolan's gone.
Walter Nolan's gone. This would be a year that Kiffin could get there, and no one would see it coming.
Mm-mm. And if he got there, there's probably not anybody that's going to stop him from winning the whole thing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you a team that I'm kind of intrigued with. I think that I think he's an underrated coach. He's got the deep pockets. He's definitely got the team and the program in a right direction that maybe Jimbo faltered on. Let's not sell Texas A&M short. They might be a team that could sneak in there. Yeah. They were, one bad half away from last year from even making the SEC championship game if they beat Texas. So they were in the conversation already. And Elko can coach. I mean, he's won at Duke. Yes, he's won now at A&M. I mean, I'm just saying that this guy is got to. He could be a dark horse that I think could definitely make it, especially with the SEC. They get Arkansas, which it's that Jerry Jones Bowl game, but Arkansas is about one game away from firing Pittman. And the truth of the matter is like some teams are lucky that they have that as their, Tennessee's been attached to Alabama during the hard years, and look who A&M's attached to, Arkansas.
Yep.
So that's just how you go. Brad, what about you in terms of contenders? I've got Ian's up there: Texas, Oregon, LSU, SMU. Very interesting.
SMU's very intriguing.
Let me just tell you this: Rhett Lashley can coach, man.
Yes, he
Rhett
can.
Lashley can coach, and maybe he can revive Tyler Van Dyke, because ever since he left Miami, Tyler Van Dyke didn't do well at Miami. He had the injury at Wisconsin last year. This is his last year to maybe do something, and he's back at SMU with Rhett Lashley. So, that's not a bad pick.
No,
that's a very easy.
They're another dangerous
to navigate
team.
Through. Yes,
they're a dangerous team.
The ACC.
They were just overwhelmed going to Penn State in that playoff game last year. They were just so overwhelmed. But
and they were still shell-shocked from the ass whipping they got from Clemson and Charlotte.
In the ACC, yep. But SMU, that's a dangerous pick, man. Dangerous pick. They've got talent all over. And Texas, and they're in the heart of Dallas. They're going to be better than the Cowboys, so they're going to be the actual main attraction in the city of Dallas during football season.
Isn't that something?
And as much as I hate to say it, I've left out one team. It's those Catholics that we talked about earlier. It's kind of hard to not throw those guys in. And of course, I'd like to say the Orange will be there. I like Wiseman's LSU pick as well. Like I said, obviously, I think Notre Dame will probably be in there, and I'd love for us to be the fourth team. But when you've got teams like Georgia and stuff like that, Florida, we don't know if that quarterback's going to break himself.
And remember this year. There's no, it's straight seeding 1 through 12. There's no conference champions automatically get a bye, which means the biggest winner out of that is Notre Dame. Notre Dame
they are.
Could be 11-1, 12-0, and get the number 1 seed and get a bye.
Yep.
I'm
going not right with that, but
going to the pretenders, by the way, I'm going to throw one out there right off the bat. I just have no faith in Clemson. I just do not really believe in the Cade Klubnik thing. Now,
I don't either.
Let me see what they bring on Saturday. If they kick LSU's ass up and down the field, and as Ian mentioned about the whole, SMU does go to Clemson, they have a schedule that can get them there. But what my question is what happens if they run into an Ohio State or something like that, more than anything. And I'm going to tell you this, just because Ohio State might lose on Saturday, don't be surprised if they do something at the end there, because even they could lose to Texas, it's still, it's them and the seven dwarfs of the Big Ten. Honestly, it really is. And do they finally get over the Michigan hump? Michigan dealing with some of that NCAA sanction stuff with Harbaugh and all that. I mean, but they've got a young, talented quarterback. And somehow Michigan beat them last year. I still don't know how that happened, but it's football and it's a rivalry and all that stuff. But give me Clemson as a pretender. I think Miami's a pretender. I wouldn't even consider Miami. I think Miami's a top 10 team because of the name and just to give that allure to Notre Dame. I really think Alabama's a pretender.
Alabama's
right off
to me
the
is
bat.
the biggest one.
Yes, yeah. And I think Oklahoma will probably be done with the defensive coordinator that used to be at Clemson. That's been
my question is going to be who's the first coach getting fired after week 8 or 9 or 10?
Napier.
Florida. Easily.
I don't think that the Gators are going to have that great of a season this year. They open up with Long Island. I mean, I didn't even know they had a team. What is Long Island?
They just started their football program, and here's a great way to start their football program. They're getting $2 million from Florida just to show up. What a great way to start a football program. You get a $2 million check just to walk into Gainesville and get handed to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Florida's schedule, they've got one of the toughest schedules in the country, and Billy Napier, his biggest indictment is not even in Florida. Look what happened to Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
You tell me 13 games that he convinced him that he was ready for the NFL. He was nowhere near ready for the NFL. And that is Billy Napier's biggest indictment is him. Who's he produced coming out of Florida?
Well, and I'll tell you one thing. If DJ Lagway goes down, it's going to be a long damn year in Gainesville. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be a long
They're sunk.
year.
If he goes down, it's over. And they have one of the toughest schedules in the country.
Back up.
Venables. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. Brett Venables. Yeah, I think Venables is going to be gone after this year with Oklahoma. I think that experiment is done. Shane, what did you say? I'm sorry, bud.
What, Harrison Bailey's the backup?
Oh, yeah.
God, yeah. There's a guy that's been at every school. He might be somewhere next year holding a clipboard. So, yeah.
No, this is his last year, too. I think he's done after this bit, too.
Yeah, no, that boy.
But yeah, Napier's seat is smoking. Venables' seat is hot.
I'm surprised he made it through last season. Really am.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I did not expect him to be a coach by the time we played him last year.
You guys either said it last week or I heard when I was listening, or you guys, one of us said it earlier today, but Kellen DeBoer, if he loses the opening game and then he loses to us,
another 9-3
Alabama fans won't
and he out the door. He could
be
on
the hot seat and lose the door automatically.
Oh, yeah. Don't lose to Vandy 2 years in a row. You won't come back from Nashville.
Oh, God. Could you imagine Vandy goes down to Tuscaloosa?
Oh,
God.
That would be the only way Tennessee fans would be okay with Vanderbilt is if they knocked off Alabama.
Get the pitchforks and the bonfires ready because he's going to be cooked.
Don't even go back to your house. It's all moving company from.
Guys, you want to know something? You actually just said something of a team that we're not even talking about, and they're very near and dear to someone we work with, Brad, and we've not even mentioned them, and it's really hard to believe. No one's talking about Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers. If Auburn beats Alabama, then DeBorg is really going to be, sent to packing or whatever.
And that may be the thing that saves Hugh Freeze, because right now that experiment down there ain't working.
I don't know why it's not working
in Auburn. No, that's the thing. Nothing is working down there.
Nothing.
They are a basketball and a baseball school now.
Yeah, they're a basketball
and I mean, what is going on there?
Thanks to Bruce, they're a basketball school now.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to that jackass that did the barbecue, because that should still be Tennessee's coach. I mean, I love Rick Barnes, but I'm just saying that.
Hey, he screwed up his career. He screwed up his career with that damn barbecue.
Don't lie about a barbecue. Just admit it. You would have been fine. But
and now it's like they would have done an ESPN Game Day show from his house there, probably in Whittington Creek at the barbecue. You know what I mean? So shit.
You guys were talking earlier about Reggie Bush. He'd win the Heisman, and they'd actually let him keep it now because of the new rules. And
exactly,
they gave it back to him. So
I have a friend who's a real estate agent. And he showed me the house where the barbecue happened. I was like, I get it.
Was it in Gettysville?
Hell, my sister knew his ex-wife. They were pretty good friends. That's how I found out everything. But Jeez.
Larry wants to go back in time and throw Cristobal on the barbecue pit. Yeah, he'd be like a pig that you would just roast around in that luau thing that they do. So yeah,
You get around it Sunday, you could take them to the Atlantic Ocean, just dump them in there, just get it over with.
Any you guys that I didn't mention that maybe you guys are thinking, whether they're in the top 10, whether they're in the top 15 or what have you. I mean, I'll tell you one that I don't really have much faith in. I think Arizona State's going to take a step back without Cam Scatbo. I know that they don't have their game on there, but I just don't think that. I think Arizona State had a nice season last year, but a lot of that was because of the heart and soul of Cam Scatbo. So, what are your all thoughts?
South Carolina, how are they 13th?
Dylan Stewart.
I'm still trying to figure out how they're 13th after all they've lost, and they're giving them more of a shot than they give Tennessee. That's ridiculous. Number one, that's ridiculous. And two, it's absurd. And three, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Shane Beamer, like you said, his dad was such a class man, and I see Shane and I go, what the heck happened? How did he turn into the jerk? And his dad is a class act.
Mm-hmm. I would have taken his dad in a heartbeat.
Easily.
Shane Beamer. God, I despise Shane Beamer.
God.
Oh, and I'm going to throw LSU out there. Brad, give me a couple pretenders, by the way, too.
LSU is a good one. Of course, I'm going to say Alabama is a pretender. I like South Carolina as a pretender. I just those schools they just don't have it anymore. And one that this will throw you guys for a loop. I don't know necessarily a pretender, but I don't think that Oregon's going to live up to the hype this year. I could be way off, but I just don't think that they're going to live up to the hype this year.
I think that they have a chance to make the playoff just because of the conference that they play in. If you put them in the SEC, hands down, they have 5 losses. I mean, I just know.
Now they do host Penn State. That is the good thing. They do host Penn State in a championship game rematch. That's the only hope.
Yeah.
And I got a group of 5 that'll surprise you. Boise State. Watch out for Boise State. They recruit well. They play well. They lost Ashton Genty, but they find a way to replace great players and still find a way to win 10, 11 games every year. Watch out for Boise as a group of 5. And watch out for Navy.
I'll throw one out there. Not a pretender, but maybe somebody that could be a sleeper surprise, BYU.
Yeah, BYU's another one.
Would be a good team. They've put a lot of NIL money into their basketball and football program. It's insane of who came up with what. So, and
watch out for Navy. They returned 21 of 22 starters. The only guy they lost was one of the offensive linemen. They basically have a full team back, and the only team that can challenge them on their schedule is Notre Dame. Watch out for Navy. That Army-Navy game at the end of the season may get Navy into the college football playoff. How scary is that? And they also play in the American, so they could play in the championship game of the conference one week and then play Army-Navy the next week with a shot to get in the playoff.
Yep.
Of course, those last year, and Navy makes it to the playoffs.
And they haven't been really relevant since Roger Staubach. Could you imagine them? A shot at the national championship.
Oh, I know.
You know how many people across the country would pull for Navy?
Oh, of course, everybody would.
They would be the sentimental favorites so easily. It's not even funny.
Well, and Navy plays Notre Dame in Chicago again.
They play them in Chicago this year.
That might be a hope that maybe Navy knocks off Notre Dame if Notre Dame gets by Miami and A&M because there's not much on that schedule left. I mean, there really isn't. So I mean, hell, Notre Dame plays USC. You know what? How about them? Nobody is talking about USC and all that money that they gave their coach or what have you. Caleb Williams is long gone, and
he's on the hot, and he may end up.
That could be your coach that's gone after 8 games. By the way, the coach, him.
I also think of karma too, because remember he left Oklahoma because he didn't want to coach the SEC, and now look at it, he has done absolutely nothing.
You're right.
And he's had a Heisman Trophy winner out of USC and Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it was a Pac-12 at that time was friggin' cupcake.
Yep. And the only reason to me Caleb Williams won the Heisman Trophy is because Hendon Hooker got hurt in South Carolina. If Hendon Hooker doesn't get hurt, he wins the Heisman Trophy.
I agree with that.
And Caleb Williams doesn't win. I still believe that to this very day, that Hendon Hooker, if he doesn't get hurt, wins the Heisman Trophy.
I blame Michigan and South Carolina for that.
I blame South Carolina more than I do anything else.
I blame Michigan and the cheaters who just got in trouble the other day.
Yep.
Well, let's throw this out there. Speaking of Heisman, who's your Heisman hopefuls or whatever like that? In my opinion, I think that we might have another wide receiver that wins it all. I'm going to pick Jeremiah Smith to win the Heisman. Maybe Ohio State doesn't get back to the national title game, but that kid could maybe have some insane 1,800-yard season with a bunch of touchdowns and still have one more year to play college football. You know, he can't go to the pros. He has to pay the mandatory 3 years. But I like Jeremiah Smith.
I think Arch Manning has a great year, but Texas record-wise, they may end up 10-2, 9-3. I think Arch Manning has an outstanding year and is a candidate, and then he stays for his senior year because I don't see him leaving. One, when the NFL draft, where the Saints or the Browns could be the number one pick. He stayed at school for that, and there's a possibility he could make more money at Texas than his first contract. Cam Ward is making $12 million a year on his rookie deal right now as a Titan. Arch could get that next year at Texas. He could get that next year with all that oil money.
I gotta get the kid to bed. So.
All right. Listen, you take care, brother. Prayers, brother. Go Vols.
Go Vols.
Go Vols, baby. But yeah, Arch Manning could make $12 million next year at Texas. That's a scary thought. And he doesn't need the money.
Ian likes Arch. Ian likes Arch as a Heisman, absolutely. So
you said something about the Saints. Arch, got your grandfather in mind. Go back to New Orleans and try to turn the Saints back around.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I still think about that to this day. That him and Terry Bradshaw were 1-2 that year in that draft. Yeah. If Archie goes to Pittsburgh and Terry Bradshaw goes to the Saints. Does Archie Manning have 4 Super Bowl rings in the Hall of Fame? And we're having a completely different conversation about his outlook as one of the great quarterbacks of all time.
Listen,
if he still had Lynn Swann, then the answer would be yes.
And not to mention Joe Green and that steel curtain defense. So there you go. And Larry Frank is a Steelers fan. So there we go. So I mean, I'll give you another name. I mean, if Miami does have a good year, obviously Carson Beck will definitely be invited to New York. I'm not saying he wins it, but if he has, a 3,800, 25 touchdown, 5 interception year, you would think that he would be at least there and so forth like that. I mean, Klubnik from Clemson, if he lives up to the hype, he could be a hopeful. But
Drew Eller from Penn State.
Him. I mean, and here's the thing: he's got the cream puffs to go up against to rack stats up. I mean,
and he's a good quarterback. He just got that soft schedule, that Charvin schedule that he could rack up 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, and he'll be a finalist.
Can I just tell you this? When they play Ohio State and Columbus, give me Ohio State in the points.
Oh yeah,
that is a guarantee win in the bet.
I think Ohio State's defense. That's the only 2 hiccups: is going to Ohio State and going to Oregon.
That's it. They don't have Michigan on the schedule.
They don't have Michigan this year.
They don't even have Iowa.
They don't even have Iowa.
They don't have the Hawkeyes on the schedule. So.
And Iowa beats everybody. They may not be the world's greatest offensive team, but they find a way to beat people.
Yeah. I mean, it's terrible. I mean,
I just don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that the Big Ten is trying to manipulate the system to get as many teams in there as possible. They had 3 last year, and they're going to try to get 4 this year. So
I was watching CBS tonight. They have their Inside College Football, which is a great program. One of their analysts, Randy Cross, who was a great 49er. Papa, you know about Randy Cross, one of the great linemen of all time. He said he predicts the Big Ten and the SEC are going to have 8 of the 12 spots. And I said, I believe that's a possibility. They had 6 of the 12 last year? 7 of the 12?
Yeah, those the smaller schools are going to be pushed out quick this year.
Yeah, I hate seeing it that way, but until these other ACC's got to get tougher.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, right now the ACC is pretty much being carried by Clemson, Miami, and SMU with a hope that the Bill Belichick experiment in Chapel Hill works.
And I just saw his schedule. He's got a winnable schedule. He could win at least 8 games, and they host Clemson.
Yeah, And
You want to talk about
Chapel
something?
Hill
You
has
want to
been
talk about
Chapel Hell
something?
for schools.
And now it's called
really has.
Chapel Bill. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if North Carolina finds their way into this deal in Belichick's first year? He's already considered one of the greatest coaches of all time, but to come to college and to prove that he could do it at college just like he did it in the NFL, he'd be like, done.
I was watching something earlier. They said he's 4 years removed from the Super Bowl, and he could easily attain 8 wins and be in the college football playoffs this year, 4 years later, which is crazy to think.
Yeah.
And that's not even the big news of the day from them. Him and his girlfriend have filed a trademark jewelry they're selling. And get ready for this. It's called Gold Digger.
24-year-old daughter named it Gold Digger. Gold Digger. Love it.
I was on the floor when I heard that. I said, no. You know how many women across the country are going to buy this jewelry?
Let me tell you something. Bill's got so much in common with his players. He's dating college students. So, I mean,
that's what they were saying. They're like, how is Belichick going to be able to relate to his players? He goes, well, he's sleeping with a 24-year-old.
That's right.
I think he found a way to. Bill can relate to anybody if you give him the right push in the right direction.
You know what they should do?
Where'd you get that necklace from? Gold Digger.
Do you remember that nasty hoodie he'd always wear with it had like a food stain on it or something? It's like, you know what? It really does prove that money does win out, honestly, because he could do a Gold Digger hoodie and be like, look what I got, guys. Yeah, but we also have Super Bowls and a bunch of money. Like, that's what attracted her. Let's be real. Not
they were talking about
the personality of a fish. So, I mean, yeah, but
he was in a T-shirt the other day. I was laughing. He was actually in a T-shirt the other day. I was crying. I said, he's really related to these college kids. These college kids and the killer parts, they love him. Yeah. They see him as that elderly grandfather type deal that some of them don't have, and he's been very good to that.
it's not dad bod, it's great. Or whatever. Oh my God! Like, it's just unbelievable right now.
Yeah, they said it takes that much money to turn a hoodie into a 23-year-old girlfriend or 24.
Yeah, I got a 23-year-old girlfriend, and I'm 74. I'm the man.
You won.
Yeah.
You won.
Yeah. I'm winning. That's Charlie Sheen's definition of winning, right there. Winning.
Obviously, you got 12 teams that are going to make the playoffs. But if you guys had to pick a championship game right now, and everything held, you can't predict the intangibles. There's turnovers. There's how a ref is going to call a game, bad weather, injuries. There's all going to be things that dictate this thing. Yeah. But in your opinion, if you were to call a national championship game right now, all things being even, who would it be and who wins? Brad, I'm going to let you go first on this one.
That's a tough one. Obviously, I'm going to be biased, and there's going to be an SEC team in it because, superior to every conference.
Hell, I might pick two, but keep going. So, yeah.
I like your style. The world would hate it, but I like your style. I think Georgia gets back, and I could see Georgia. Oh, I could really piss Wiseman off and say Michigan, but no, Georgia. That's a tough one. Georgia coming out of the other one. I'd love to hear what you guys say with the other one, and then I'll come up with my second one.
I've got Georgia and Texas. I think that we're going to get Georgia and Texas. Probably, they don't play in the regular season, do they? This year?
No, I think this is the first year they don't play each other in the regular
season. I could definitely see them being the two teams that play for the SEC title game, and then being on opposite ends of the bracket, and then finding their way into that national championship for all the marbles. And I think Texas wins it all this year. I think that this is Sarkisian built this team for this year. All the money, the NIL that they've tied into their offensive linemen. They've got a stable of running backs with CJ Baxter, good receivers for Arch. The defense is going to get better. They might have a kicker that might make it now instead of the guy that went to Miami. I like Texas to beat Georgia for the national title. That would be my pick.
I'm thinking Texas and Notre Dame. I think somewhere in there, Notre Dame gets another shot to win a national championship, and I pick Texas to win. And I think it'll be, if they were to play, I think it'd be a close football game. I'd be looking at a 24-21 type game.
Larry likes Texas versus Notre Dame.
I like Texas, and I would like Texas.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is, Notre Dame definitely has the pieces. Can this freshman quarterback navigate, a big win against a spotty Miami team on the road in a hostile environment? He's got A&M at home. Navy's a tough game, but that's in Chicago, which is basically Notre Dame West. So I'm just saying that, they've got a great chance to get there, Notre Dame.
And no conference championship game.
And no conference championship game. Yeah, so that's tough.
They wouldn't have to wear and tear that everybody else would.
That's true.
Give me LSU as my other team. LSU, Georgia.
Making it all the way, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. I like that.
If they can get through the Battle of Death Valley, I think
if they win this first game, you're right, it could set them off.
Yep.
And Nussmeier's and we forgot to mention him as a Heisman Trophy candidate.
I mean, yeah, you got to mention Nussmeier, honestly, especially
and you throw him into the trophy mix. You beat Clemson Saturday night. Oh, he in the mix. He may become dangerous.
He'll be the front runner
because their schedule looks pretty doable. A lot of their big games are at LSU,
and so most of them are at night.
Yeah, and most of them are at night where they do their damage. Yeah, they don't want to play the daytime. We sort of taught them that lesson 2022, playing them at noon.
Yeah,
destroyed them.
Yeah, well, and then you got the buses shaking and all that good stuff.
You know what I mean?
Type of a thing.
And the Tiger has to get right. Tiger has to be hungry. Mike, the Tiger got to be hungry, man.
That's true.
Feed him at night.
Yeah.
Larry being a Cajun down there in Louisiana, he hates LSU, and he has them going 8-4. I guess starting with a Clemson loss. So,
but you know what? There's no leeway down there. It's either 12-0 or it's going to be 8-4.
Yeah.
It's either one or the other.
And again, this is coming off of the heels of 6 years from one of the greatest offensive shows. I mean, my goodness, Jordan Jefferson, and God, did they have some players? Jefferson,
and Brian Kelly's got to be saying, if damn Ed Orgeron can win a national championship, how the hell can I not win one now?
Yeah. You want to know the difference? Those players died on their sword and shield for Ed Orgeron.
Oh, they did.
They don't relate to this guy. This guy's a fake dude. I mean, Ed Orgeron was true, like LSU.
He's a Cajun.
His players.
You couldn't understand what he said, except the players knew exactly what he wanted them to do.
He was the farmer that helped Henry Winkler in The Water Boy.
He's the
no doubt about it. That was the base for that character. There's no doubt
is the guy.
Yeah. Hey, Larry, don't sleep on Texas A&M. That's a dark horse of mine. I like them. And
they play each other near the end of the year always. So that's always a fun battle when they play each other. LSU and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
A&M
could knock off Texas rivalry game right there too. I mean, we're talking.
I'm telling you, if A&M can get by Notre Dame in Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's been known to slip up when they have a home game and so forth, that could be the game that screws them up. Honestly, they might still get in with the 11-1, but at the same time, that doesn't really say much for you about beating a quality SEC team. They beat a wounded Georgia team. There's no doubt in my mind, Georgia with a healthy Carson Beck beats their ass.
Oh, easily. I agree.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah. Kelly came down here with a fake accent trying to pass. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. That fake accent.
But him and his family are so proud to be in a great one, Ian. I love it.
I've never seen that accent change so much as when he decided to be a Cajun for that press conference. I
remember when he was dancing with a recruit, and you don't dance with another dude like that. That's all I'm saying, man. That was weird.
That was just like, what you doing, man?
Whatever, dude. So
they can keep that.
A&M will A&M. Yep. All right. So let's real quick, because I do want to talk just a little high school football here locally, real quick. Just wanted to just throw those games out there. Real quick, Knoxville Catholics travel into Anderson County as the big Thursday night game. Bearden against Alcoa. It was sexy a year ago when it was made, and it was supposed to take place at Smoky Stadium. It's just another game. Oak Ridge at Clinton, Powell at Farragut. Should be an interesting one. Knoxville Central at Fulton, Battle of Broadway, Cary. You got Gibbs at Halls, which is a rivalry. Battle of the Bridge, Lenore City at Loudon. South Doyle at Carnes. You got William Blunt at Austin East, Grace Christian at Carter, Sevier County going for 17 in a row against
West at
their rival
Maryville.
Jefferson County, and then West at Maryville. So those are the games that are going on. As far as West at Maryville, going to be a really big game on Friday night. Obviously, West's former coach, Lamar Brown, is now Maryville's defensive line coach. He knows our stuff. We know him. These two teams, West has won 2 of the last 3 games. Last year, Maryville was on a tear, getting revenge and beat West very good. Now West, who didn't get a game in, they were one of the only teams that didn't get a full game in on varsity level, has to take on a Maryville team that lost a heartbreaker to Alcoa. Maybe with a few more minutes left, takes that game to overtime. But, horseshoes and hand grenades is maybe, but the truth of the matter is you're going to have an angry Maryville team, an unknown West team with a lot to prove. These kids had a lot, but should be a fun one. 7:00 Friday night. Obviously I'm rooting for my Rebels, but just wanted to throw that out there real quick before we go to our picks and wrap up the show. But we got 5 games to pick for the big matchups. Okay. So number 1, let's go to the Alabama at Florida State game, 3:30. Kerry, I'm going to start with you. Who wins, and give me a score, and then Brad, and then I'll go. So, yeah.
Okay. I think Florida State shocks the world and upsets Alabama 21-17. I think Gus Malzahn, the new offensive coordinator for Florida State, his track record as an OC is one of the most unmatched. He usually gets to a new team, and that offense is better. Florida State averaged 15 points a game on offense last year. There's nowhere to go but up.
They've got a quarterback. They've got a quarterback that,
from Boston
did as
College,
well as he could at Boston College. He did as well as he could at a school like that.
Hey,
now you surround him with some talented guys and a decent offensive coordinator. I could see it. Yeah. All right, Brad, go ahead.
I like Florida State in that one.
I think I'm going to have to go with State too. I mean, Ty Simpson, I don't know if he knows what he's in for when he gets down there, but I could see it being a close game. I'll say like 21-19 Florida State.
Gotcha. In honor of our coach, Lee Corso, not so fast, my friends. I'm going to go with Alabama, but closer than the experts think. I think that Alabama's wide receiver is going to help Ty Simpson, the Ryan Williams. I mean, and then of course they took Isaiah Horton from Miami, offered him a hell of an NIL deal. So I think those two guys will help him in that environment, but give me Alabama close because of that SEC pedigree and the trenches being just a difference. But that seat's going to get warmer for Kalen DeBoer if he at least doesn't cover that spread.
Yeah.
Just saying. So, yeah. Next game on the agenda, the Clemson versus LSU game. Tigers, Death Valley, but it's at Clemson, under the lights, the bus shaking, Howard's Rock. Brad, I'm going to let you go first on this one. Who do you like and why?
I'll take the Tigers.
Now, is that with the G-O or the G-E-A-U-X in front of it? So.
I think that's the E-A-U-X, considering I picked them to, go far. It would be asinine of me to pick Clemson right now, but I just don't think Dabo's going to be ready for him. I think they're going to get down there in Death Valley and they're going to show them what the real conference is all about.
Gotcha. I'm going to go next. Kerry, you go last on this one.
You got it.
I'm going to go with Clemson. I hate Dabo. Anybody that talks to me knows I can't stand Clemson. But if Ian's going to say A&M will A&M, I'm going to say Brian Kelly will Brian Kelly. I just think that if the game was at LSU, LSU all day, every day. But I just think that Clemson's home field advantage, I think Klubnik does just enough. And LSU somehow messes it up for the 4th straight year, opening game, under the lights, primetime TV, and that might be another turning point in the saga that is the Brian Kelly as LSU's coach. Kerry, your pick.
I am gonna go with LSU, not because of their offense. I think LSU's defense will force a couple of Klubnik turnovers, and that will be the difference in the ball game. I think Nussmeier gets short fields. I think he gets more short fields than Klubnik, and I think LSU wins a game. I think 27-24. I think turnovers play a huge part, and I think LSU in the trenches is better this year than they were the last couple of years, and I think their defense makes the difference in that game.
Nice. Ian likes Florida State with you guys as the 28-24 matchup. He also has got LSU winning pretty handily over Clemson. I mean, if LSU walks into Clemson and hangs 37 on them like that, whoa, just whoa. I mean, honestly. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that one. The third game that I wanted to for us to pick is obviously that Catholics versus Convicts game, Sunday, 7:30 at ABC. I'll go first on this one. I think that the crowd's going to be ruckus. There's going to be rain in the forecast. I think that both teams are going to sputter in the beginning because of trying to feel each other out. But I think in the second quarter, there's going to be some turnovers that happen that Notre Dame's going to benefit from. I think Miami's going to get shell-shocked. The wheels are going to come off. And I think that Notre Dame ends up winning 31-21 over Miami. I want to be wrong being a Miami fan, but I just think Notre Dame's just going to be too much for Miami. And that's going to be leaving a lot of fans that bought into the preseason hype. I'm not one of them. This is a type of game you got to win on the field. You don't, the talk is cheap, and you got to come out there. Fourth year, your guys are there. No longer do you use the excuse of previous players, all that BS. You got to win this one. But right now, Notre Dame, I think, is on a mission to try to get back to the national title. I could be wrong, but Notre Dame 31-21 over Miami. Brad, I'll let you go first on next on this one, then Kerry.
I think you're spot on. I mean, I think that they're out for blood right now. They think that they got cheated last year, so they're gonna try to prove that even if they can lose 3 or 4 games, that they're still worth it or whatever. So I think that they'll probably roll. Sorry, I know that's your squad, but I think they'll roll them pretty. They'll roll them pretty handily down there, and we'll see what Notre Dame wanted to show last January.
Yeah. Can I tell you this on Larry's show? And I think Larry left the chat because, I mean, he's got the Jimmy Johnson interview tomorrow. Great for him, and so forth like that. I get accused on that show that I'm not a real Miami fan. And I would put my knowledge of Miami football against any Miami fan. What I am is that I have been disappointed for 20-something years.
Well, of course,
and again, talk is cheap, and I've been as excited as anything. And when you have the low expectations, then you get pleasantly surprised. It's rather than the opposite, effect. So that's why, I'm not expecting much because, again, I wanted this guy to be our coach. Yes, we've gotten some recruits, but I see no development or anything of that nature. And realistically, the best player you had was you paid a lot of money NIL deal, and we already knew he was good from Washington State and where he started before down there in Texas at that small school. So my point is that it's put up or shut up time. So and we'll kind of go from there. Kerry, your picks on that game. So.
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a physical game. I think rain will play a hand in the forecast, but I'm going to go with Miami because I think Carson Beck and his experience will be the determining factor. He may not have the chemistry that developed the chemistry yet with his receivers, but I think knowing his experience, knowing his SEC and championship experience, he will make a couple plays, I think, with his legs. In a game that both teams are almost kind of similar to each other and looking for looking at an advantage here and there, I think he will use his legs and be a difference maker. Plus, I think the fact that all of those Hurricanes, I could see that Miami sideline being flooded with the guys from the past. And funny thing is, they have a way. Those young players have a way of getting inspired when they see the legends of the past. And let's face it, Miami's got a lot of legends.
They do.
A lot of winning football for the past 40 years. Michael Irvin, Perriman, the Blades boys, the Ed Reed. Something tells me that kind of inspiration will help Miami, and that crowd is going to be electric. I'm thinking 24-21.
I hope you're right, Kerry.
I think an absolute thriller.
I hope you're right. Ian picked Notre Dame 24-14. I love what he wrote here. He said it's a stadium curse, brother. Yes, it's absolutely a stadium curse. And here's the truth of it. What Miami finally needs to do is sell the Marlins to Nashville and let them have a Major League Baseball team. Go to a Botanica, do some Santeria, and cleanse that that stadium and rebuild the Orange Bowl, and basically hope to God that might take 10 years, but that will be the end of the curse. And the Dolphins need to go back there as well. So, and Hard Rock Stadium can be just the soccer stadium for the World Cup and Messi and whoever wants to play for them. But
Now,
I'm
if
just
this
saying.
game, now
So,
if this game, now if this game was in the Orange Bowl,
yeah.
there's be no doubt.
Oh, no doubt. No
There'd
doubt.
be no
The Orange
doubt.
Bowl. Oh, that
Miami
little gal would be shaking. I mean,
I
it didn't
remember
look that
watching
great,
Jim-
but it shaked. I mean, that's it.
You
So,
talking
yeah.
about Larry's interview and Jimmy Johnson. I remember Jimmy Johnson's last game as a Miami coach. It was 58-7 over Notre Dame, and he called off, and he could have called off the dog. He wasn't calling off the dogs that day, but the players ended up stopping at the point in the fourth quarter because they could have scored 70. They could have scored 70. They were sending Jimmy out with a message saying, Jimmy, thank you for everything you've done. Go to Dallas and kick ass, which he did.
Exactly.
He went to Dallas and kicked ass. But if this game was in the Orange Bowl, oh, it'd be no doubt.
No doubt about it.
But I still think Miami will play hard, and I think they'll win.
Obviously, this one, Tennessee versus Syracuse down in Valanta, noon ABC. Kerry, I'll let you go first. Then I'll go. Brad, I'll let you go last. Kerry, go ahead.
I like Tennessee in this game. I think it's a slow start for both teams trying to feel each other out. But I feel in the second quarter and the third quarter, Tennessee's strength, the trenches will wear Syracuse down. Most ACC teams do not match up with SEC teams, especially in the trenches. And that's where I think Tennessee will dominate Syracuse is in the trenches. They will run for over 200 yards. I think Joey Aguilar has a nice coming out party. It's not going to be spectacular, but I think he has a really good coming out party. He gets the tight ends and the backs and his receivers involved. I look for Mike Matthews to have a huge game, because I don't think Syracuse can not match not just the trenches. I don't think they can match the speed. There is something about SEC speed that is just different from every other conference. And I think in a game like this, and indoors on a fast track, I love Tennessee in this. I love Tennessee in this game, and I think they'll pull away and win by 17 points.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at 38-21 or 38-17, 38-21, somewhere in that range.
I like it. Ian wants to rescind his pick. I think you motivated him, Kerry, with the Canes legends going to be on the sidelines and that ruckus Miami crowd. He said, "Give me the Canes," so I'll change his pick to the Canes. He has the Vols by 50. So, speaking of which, number 50 for the Vols is former West High great Ryan Scott. So it's going to be nice to see him. But the truth of the matter is this is what I've got. You mentioned speed. Great segue for my pick. Brad, you're going to get to see it firsthand, but I'm either predicting a pick six or a punt return for a touchdown or a long run by a Tennessee running back that goes the distance for like a 50, 60-yard run for a touchdown. Could happen all three facets of the game. My point being is I like Tennessee. I like them winning actually 28-10, to be honest with you. I think that defense really holds Syracuse's offense down and realistically could even get into the 30s. I could even see 31-10 as the final score, but I think that Tennessee flexes its muscle and another win for the SEC over the ACC if you're doing like a SEC-ACC challenge with some of the games that are going on.
I think this game is like 2 years ago with the Virginia game in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
I could see that.
Start slow, and then in that second quarter, pedal to the metal.
Yeah, they kicked Virginia's ass, and that was pretty much the end of that for Bronco Mendenhall. Go ahead, Brad.
No, I see exactly the same thing you guys do. I see like a 31-14, 31-10. I think once again our running backs are going to have a field day with them. I think we might have 250 yards from scrimmage. I think Bishop gets a couple of touchdowns. I do think Aguilar might get in his head and throw a pick in the second, but I think he'll kind of work himself through it, and our defense will make a couple of stands that we need to make, and I think we'll reestablish our dominant orange color and show them what we're all about.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And of course, the big one, the one that might leave us all just like, what did we just watch? And the other games be letdowns. But does this one live up to the hype? Brad, I'm going to let you go. I'll go first on this one. I'll let you go second. Carrie, I'll let you go last. I really think that Ohio State is very talented. There's no denying it. I think Jeremiah Smith's going to get his. But I have to stick with my pick of winning it all, Texas and Steve Sarkisian. I think this is Arch's moment. I think that he could have a very special season. And it starts in Columbus in the shoe. I like Texas winning 27-24. And Texas uses this to move on and tackle a very, very hard slate of games once they get to the SEC. But this will be a big one to get them in what they need to do. Brad, who do you got in this one?
All righty. Well, first of all, not so fast.
I like it. I like
not
it.
so fast. You were almost spot on. I said 28-24, but I think it's going to go the other way. I think Arch is going to be there in a big moment, and I think he's going to throw a pick, and it's going to set him back a little bit. And as much as my buddy Adam, if he's listening, he's rolling over right now, but I think State's going to take it from him on Saturday.
Okay, can I ask you something real quick? It's been deemed that Ohio State's quarterback is Julian Sayre, correct?
Yes, he starts.
Yeah.
There's something about that guy, dude. Let me tell you something. If Nick Saban doesn't retire, that's Alabama's starting quarterback
yeah.
now.
Toskinson would not be there.
And
Yeah.
he's got very dickish qualities, by the way, with that hair and everything. I mean, you know who he reminds me of a little bit? He reminds me of Joe Kane from the program.
Yeah.
That swagger a little bit, dangerous guy, but he's also got that Lance Harbor walk of Varsity Blues. Like, honestly, like that's how he walks to practice. So, and now whether his offensive lineman hugs him,
Let's hope
that's the other thing too. But
let's hope he don't have the alcohol problem that Joe Kane has.
That Joe Kane does. So yeah, but no, I mean, honestly, I could see that, Brad. I mean, what would be very interesting is, everybody thinks it's Arch Manning's time, and lo and behold, it's almost like Danny Warfel steals the show from Peyton. That Julian Sayre steals the light from Arch Manning. Ian likes Tennessee 37-10. He even likes Boo to get an offensive touchdown. By the way, I like that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I love the fact that he's playing.
I do too. Yeah. And he was very exciting at Bradley Central. I got to see him firsthand. Texas, Ian's got Texas like me, 28-27. Carrie, what do you got in the big clash in the shoe between the Horns and the Buckeyes?
I think it's going to be a fun football game. I think it's being at the first game. There's going to be mistakes. Yeah. There's going to be some stuff that we probably will not see the rest of the year out of both of these teams. The Ohio State the quarterback, Julian, I think he's going to have a good outing, but I think as the year goes on, he becomes one of those guys I wouldn't want to play because he's got all the talent in the world. He's getting his feet wet. I just like Texas and their physicality. I just think their physicality is going to be the difference in this game. I think Arch will be protected. If Ohio State doesn't get to Arch, their secondary is going to be torched.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to this game for Ohio State. They have got to get to Arch Manning. If they don't, he'll pick them apart all day long. And I see Texas winning this game 27-24 in what I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner.
We're all in that vicinity. I mean, it's just basically flip a coin, and you've got pretty much all our scores in the 20s right there. I mean, go figure. So either way, we can all agree to disagree, but we're just glad college football's back.
Football's back.
It's Christmas morning for us grown men, honestly, and we're excited. Real quick, what's on the menu? If you were not at the game and you were just, Brad, like hosting a tailgate with friends coming over to watch, I mean, what's on the menu? Because can I tell you what my menu would be real quick? I would start off with the cocktail weenies and the beans as an appetizer. I'd for my lunch, I would have a pizza, a shrimp cocktail ring, as well as wings. And for dinner, for the nightcap on Saturday, we're going to have chili that's been in the pot all day long. That
not bad.
That was the Freeman tradition for college football Saturdays in my household, by the way. and
That's
that's
a
how
hell of
we
a
do it.
tradition.
That's a nice tradition.
That was me and my dad and my sister and mom, the four of us. It started at game day, and it went even all the way up till Hawaii kicked off with June Jones and Timmy Chang back in the day.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
But
yeah.
anyway,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead. So
Colt Brennan and those boys.
Colt
Yeah.
Brennan and Timmy Chang and all that. Yeah, exactly.
Colt
But
Brennan made me a lot of money about 10
Yeah, he
years
made me
ago.
a lot of money too.
yeah, he did. So hey, they were fun to watch on offense. Couldn't stop a cold, but they could put 4,000 yards.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. But what would be on your all's menu if you were just doing like the all day thing, starting at 9 a.m. all the way up till like 11 o'clock at night? So,
Mine is simple: pigs in a blanket,
nice.
chips and salsa.
Yep, gotta have that too.
Start the day off right. Middle of the day, hot wings. Get your hot, get your medium, get your mild, get your barbecue and your garlic Parmesan wings. And at the end of the day, pizza. But then I would throw in some sliders.
Ooh.
Get the slider bar going.
I like
get your
that.
slider, get your cheese, get you some mustard, ketchup, and just sit back and bam. I got my TV has picture in picture. So I'm getting 2 games one time, and I can interchange which games I want to go because there's gonna be games on all day. TNT is covering the Big 12. They have the exclusive television to the Big 12. TNT is in the college football game.
I think they did better than CBS with the Big 10.
They did a lot better.
I mean, yeah, how about that? Because Big 12 has always been a great offensive conference. Like honestly, like they can score. So. And
I want to give a shout out. A new era starts Saturday too. Mike Keith, good friend of mine.
Yes,
the Vol Network. Him and Ramon Foster. Mike Keith is back home where he belongs. He's one of the best announcers, one of the best people I've ever known.
Yeah.
So happy for him being back home. Did a great job with the Titans. Bob Kessling was a fantastic announcer. We'll miss Bob. We will miss Bob, but Mike Keith is back home where he belongs, sitting up there calling Tennessee volunteer football, carrying on the tradition of Lindsey Nelson, John Ward, Bob Kessling. He's the perfect man to fill the job. And we're happy and so happy to have him back home.
I will tell you this. It is going to be weird, just like we mentioned, Corso not there. Good thing we do have Mike Keith and that voice of his, because, Kessling's been around for 25 years doing that, and before
did a
that,
fantastic job.
And before that, he was the mainstay as the anchor at Channel 10 and so forth like that.
And Jefferson Pilot.
Jefferson Pilot too.
Sideline reporter and play-by-play man.
Yeah, so it's going to be very different. I mean, it always changes. That's the thing. That's why you got to appreciate what you got. Brad, what would be on the menu, buddy, if you were home and not at the game in Atlanta Saturday?
Well, I mean, first of all, y'all both nailed it. Well, we all know winners get wings. So at 4 o'clock, there would definitely be a wing bar just all over the place, smoked, however you want them. We're going to have all the wings you want. A pie sounds great. Pizza sounds amazing. But at the end of the night, I want a fat, juicy steak to sit down and watch my nightcap with. That's going to be my plan on the next Saturday when I'm here for a home game.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sorry to cut you off, Gary. It's funny that you mentioned a steak. I don't know why that wasn't on the menu, because I mean, like we did the cocktail, we did the wings and the pizza and the shrimp cocktail ring, and we did the chili that had the beef in it. But yeah, we never did like a steak. That's interesting.
Gotta have a steak.
That's my plan Sunday for Notre Dame and Miami. Get a nice big juicy steak. Prime time game.
I like it.
Nothing else. Hey, that's the beauty of Sunday and Monday, that first weekend. Nothing else is going on except baseball and the U.S. Open. And if you're a diehard, you'll watch that. But Notre Dame and Miami, big ratings. It's Monday night.
Yeah.
TCU in North Carolina, the only game in town. That huge rating.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is college football showcase, and they did it right this year. NFL next week, we'll talk about that, because they got games, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, right?
Yep.
Like they're doing all
Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday.
Oh, that's right. They're not Saturday. That's right.
No
Thursday,
Saturday.
Friday, Sunday, Monday.
They try not to interfere with college football.
And that's good. Yeah, So I mean, that's the truth of it. So, well, guys, listen, great show. Brad, what'd you think? Were you glad to be a panelist on tonight? You did great, man.
You did great, brother.
You, man, honestly.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't make it last time, but I would love to come back if you guys
You are invited back, and
blast,
Carrie enjoys this too, and like Shane says, this is our therapy hour. hour. And I
Yep.
love the chat. Ian, I'd love to have Ian come on, honestly, sometime.
Mhm.
Anybody that wants to come on and talk some football and brings the energy and the insight. And I know that you're not a Rebel graduate, but you're a Rebel with a cause. And so to be a part of the show, as a panelist, you got to throw up the W at least once or whatever like that. So, and hopefully that's what the Tennessee Vols are doing. And for my Rebels, hopefully
That's a
get it
W,
done and go
baby.
knock off them Maryville Rebels,
Get a
baby. So
dub.
it's all about the W. So
Balls
great.
get that dub.
Exactly. So, yeah, great show, guys, as always. And again, if you haven't liked or subscribed us, please do so. Realistically, your support means a lot to us.
Yep.
We just love to talk sports. We're talking football now, center stage. We'll transition to basketball when that is. Hell, we've even talked hockey and NBA and all that other stuff when it gets there. But football is front and center. Enjoy it. It goes by quick, man. These 17 weeks or what have you of the regular season, conference championships, then playoffs. But I'm going to enjoy it week by week and not wish it away.
And we got it till February, man.
Exactly.
We got football the first weekend in February. And then what a year we got after that. We got the Olympics, basketball. We're going to be busy.
We are going to be busy.
The next few months
we've got some live. We've got some more live shows you and me doing and so forth as well.
Yes.
So, but that being said, but no, thank you so much, Ian. I really appreciate it. Spread the word.
Thanks, Ian.
And so forth. And like I said, we have a good time on here. It's Rebels with a Cause. Remember, that cause don't stop when the clock hits 0. Love one another. Treat each other right. Enjoy the football, guys, and have a safe and happy Labor Day with your families. We out. Rebels with a Cause.